to the multitude. Welcome to the multitude of Christ. The multitude of Christ. The multitude of Christ. The multitude of Christ. All nations, kindreds, people, all of them. Welcome to the multitude. All nations, kindreds, people of Christ. Welcome to the multitude of Christ. All nations, kindreds, people of Christ. Welcome to the multitude of Christ.
Shalom, saints. I want to welcome you back to another Shabbat of the Most High Yah here at the Multitude of Christ Ministry. We are broadcasting out of Kodash land this Shabbat. I greet you in the name of Yahweh and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I go by the name Ra'ah Yakanan. You can call me Pastor Johnny if you feel comfortable. My reader today is Brother Michael, and we are going to go into a topic entitled Betrayal. So the title of today's lesson is Betrayal by Those Who Break Bread with You. Betrayal by those who break bread with you. You know, here at the Multitude of Christ Ministry, we seek to teach all nations of people how to find true salvation according to the Holy Scriptures. So we're going to read a bunch of scriptures today. If you're not used to it, get your pen and pad ready, turn your recorder on, whatever you feel comfortable with. But by the end of this lesson, we pray that you have been edified by the reading of the scriptures. Just learn one of anything that we cover. But it'll be recorded, so you can always go back and watch it again. So we thank everyone that's joining us today. We welcome you. So let's get this Shabbat started. Let's stand. Let's face Jerusalem. We're going to open up with the blowing of the shofar. We'll read a few scriptures. We'll praise and worship, and then we'll get right into the Bible study lesson. Thanks again for joining us. Go ahead, Art. Hallelujah, 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 all praise. Now, if you want to put this in your notes, we're going to come from the scripture of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4 through 9. Go ahead when you get it, Art.
Hear, O ye Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Hallelujah. Now we'll repeat after him. This is coming from the scriptures translation, Luke chapter 11, Yahweh's prayer. Go ahead, Art.
Our Abba in the heavens.
Our Abba in the heavens.
Let your name be set apart.
Let your name be set apart.
Let your reign come.
Let your reign come.
Let your desire be done on earth.
Let your desire be done on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us day by day
Give us day by day
our daily bread.
our daily bread,
And forgive us our sins.
and forgive us our sins,
For we also forgive everyone
for we also forgive everyone
who is indebted to us.
who is indebted to us.
And do not lead us into trial,
And do not lead us into trial,
but rescue us from the wicked one.
but rescue us from the wicked one.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory forever.
and the glory forever.
In Yahweh Shai's name we pray.
In Yahweh's name we pray.
Hallelujah,
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 hallelujah.
hallelujah.
You may be seated, sisters and brothers. You may be seated. We are going to have Lala Music bless us with a selection this morning.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All right, all praise to Yahweh on this glorious day. Hallelujah. All right. it with me, all right? Hallelujah.
The world can try and deny you because of your faith at any time. I've seen tribulations, real isolation, because evil can seem divine. What in the world are we gonna do? Lord, I need them to see the truth. The earth wax cold in the midst of you. Let me be light. Tell me what you see when you look at me. Can you see love, joy, peace, and long suffering? I'm walking in the ways of Christ so I can be free. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see, see. Tell me what you see. I can't hate my brother, must love one another. Envy and strife won't block my way. I'm on a journey, a spiritual journey, renewing my mind every single day. What in the world are we gonna do? Lord, I need them to see the truth. The earth was cold in the midst of you. Let me be light. Tell me what you see when you look at me. Can you see love, joy, peace, and long suffering? I'm walking in the ways of Christ so I can be free. So tell me what you see, see. Tell me what you see, see. Tell me what you see, see. Tell me what you see. Don't wanna be carnal, gotta walk in righteousness. Must be the example, displaying fruits of the Spirit. Woo! Can you see love, joy, peace, and long suffering? I'm walking in the ways of Christ so I can be free. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see, see. Tell me what you see.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praise. Hallelujah. All praise. All praise. Give it just a moment, sisters and brothers. What a wonderful, wonderful selection. Tell me what you see. We got to get some honest saints out there that can truly find brothers and sisters that they can ask that question to, and you can really get a righteous answer. You hear what I said? You need to find sisters and brothers that you can ask that question. Tell me what you see, sister and brother, and allow them to be honest, and you be able to spiritually take the criticism or take the rebuke or take the reproof and correction, and then go back and pray to the Most High to help you change how people see you. Because if we leave it to ourselves, sisters and brothers, We all going to be righteous in our own eyes.
Right.
But is it according to Scripture the way that we see ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
You need some kind of barometer, something to help keep you in check and in line with what the Scriptures say.
That's
So,
right.
We're gonna have Brother Michael pray. We're gonna get in this lesson, and it ain't what you think it is by the title. Because you give a title like that, you know, the flesh rears up, and automatically you start thinking about things you ought not.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we are a congregation, we are a church, and we're going to come out of the Scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop right there and pick up on the other end of the prayer. Got to make sure we get everybody's spirits and minds right.
That's
for this
right.
one. Go ahead.
Yahweh, Most High Abba of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh, we humble ourselves on your Sabbath, coming to you saying the water.
The water, Yahweh.
Yahweh, we thank you for allowing us to see another Sabbath day. Yahweh, we thank you and say the water.
Thank you.
For wrapping your hedges of protection around us as we toiled day by day throughout this week, not knowing what was to come, not knowing what to expect, but only knowing that you are God and you do sit on high, and you are our God, and we are your children.
That's right.
Putting all faith in you. That's what we know to do. And again, we say the water.
The water, Yahweh.
Yahweh, I just ask that you forgive us for any sins we may have committed unknowingly throughout this week. Yahweh, just ask that you not allow our shortcomings to be pushed to the forefront, but that you forgive us for those things that hinder us from getting closer to you. Yahweh, those of us that are watching, that are truly seeking you, Yahweh, we ask that you allow them to be edified and that it be your voice that be heard. We ask that your Ruach rain down upon us and speaks through us so that your people can be edified. Yahweh, everything that is said today, we just ask that it is pleasing in your sight. I ask that you allow me to read boldly and that you allow Pastor to speak boldly the words you placed upon his heart to speak to your people. All we can do again, Yahweh, is say the water.
The water, Yahweh.
In Yahweh Shah's name we pray. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. What a wonderful prayer, sisters and brothers. It is always a joy for me to have someone else around me that talks to the Most High and that can pray for me. It's not something that I take lightly, allowing people to pray and pray for me. You know, I would have had to prove this brother, and he would have to show that he's even worthy to speak on the behalf of the sheep and the people that are around me that I'm entrusted to. Because you don't really know what people are into in their private lives and in their homes, what oaths they've made, what deals they've cut with other people, what are their true intentions of being around you. So this lesson comes off the back of Judas and the Black Messiah. And through the scripture, this is what the Most High showed me to put forth. One story we're going to go into, you know very well, right? Judas Iscariot and Yahweh Shah the Mashiach. And then I'm going to show you another story you may not know so well, and that's with King David, his sons, and his counselors. We're going to talk about betrayal by the people that are very close to you, the people that eat at your table and sleep at your feet. Well, in the scripture, we're not really living like in huts and teepees, so it's anything under your roof, right?
That's
be
right.
up under your feet, right? People that you invite into your place of safety, your dwelling, right? Where you close your eyes and when you wake up, you expect there to still be perfect peace. Well, we're going to get into that, right? We're going to get into some real transparency of all these organizations and groups, schools, jobs that you're with, everything that you are collaborating with your wisdom and your intellectual technology, right? Every effort that you're putting forth, that you're giving the Most High praise for, or you're questioning why you're not successful in it, all of that, right? But we're going to talk about the people in the circle that are around you, and we're going to use two great examples in the scripture, right? King David, and then the one that was supposed to have come from his loins.
That's
Can't
right.
get no better example than that, right? The greatest king, and then the greatest king. Can't get no better than that, right?
That's right.
But we're going to talk about some things that came about in that movie. We're going to try to make it, relatable to you who are watching. And, the one thing that you miss by not being in here in person is the thumbnails and the visuals that you may hear me talking about. But this is just how I put the lessons together, right, to keep everybody energized and engaged here locally. But some of the things today we're going to let you hear audibly, but visually, you just have to experience the lesson in person. So if you're ready, this might be a seatbelt helmet type lesson for those that are struggling within. But for those seeking the truth, it should only help you. It should only help you see things better and evaluate those that are around you, because it's something that's been happening since the beginning of time that we seem to overlook. But if we just follow scriptures, we might find ourselves worthy to come back together one day. So let's start right here. Let's get into the lesson. Let's start with some definitions. There's a sign of peace, and there's a sign. It's funny how you would handshake someone you don't even know. Right? As a sign of peace. And then you'll get one day where you don't even handshake or want to hug people that you know are proven. Did the people change or did you change? Because you will shake the hand and hug a total stranger because someone introduced you to him. But when you walked and ate and supped and burdened and labored with somebody, you would then now have issues with shaking their hand. It's like a telltale sign that I've learned in my life. You be around somebody and you dap them, and then when you get into a group of people, all of a sudden they dapping everybody and not you. Hugging everybody but not you. It's a telltale sign that there is no longer peace. It's peace with everybody else, but might not be with you. Mm-hmm. Write that down. So we're going to get some definitions, right? Let's start with the first one. Go ahead and read through them, and then we're not going to elaborate on them long, but I want you, sisters and brothers, whatever we're giving you, I want you to just write down the subject and then go get the definition on your own time. Is that okay with you? All right, go ahead, Ak.
A comrade.
A comrade. Go ahead.
A companion who shares one's activities or is a fellow member of an organization.
So when you start joining organizations and groups, right, like the Panthers or like any kind of social group, Antifa, NRA, like you join different groups, the people within those groups might be considered comrades. Hey, your church might be considered you might be a comrade. A chamber of commerce. These people might be considered comrades, fellow members, right? But the comrade is a companion who shares in an activity. Well, we keeping the commandments and worshiping the Most High. You know what I mean? We might be fellow comrades, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Acquaintance.
An acquaintance. Go ahead.
Someone who is known, but who is not a close friend.
See, wait a minute. An acquaintance by definition is not a close friend. They're an acquaintance. Why? Go ahead.
Formal. The state of knowing someone in a personal or social way.
So you just know them socially. You know what I mean? You got 2,000 members in your church. You know Jane Smith and John Smith go there. They're acquaintances in the same ministries, but you don't know them. Mm-hmm. You just know that you should have the same beliefs because you're in the same congregation. Go ahead.
The state of knowing someone as an acquaintance. Knowledge about something.
You know something about them, but you don't know them. They're an acquaintance, right? Not someone that you share blood with, like someone that you know got your kids back. You know what I'm saying? Like you use like Ricky Smiley, like him and Miss Janie. Like that's close, right? Like her son died and he made an oath like, I'm gonna take care of your mama. Like it's like his mama because his mama ain't there. Right. Someone close. She's not an acquaintance. You could tell that relationship is beyond blood family. You understand? But an acquaintance is somebody like I know of them, I see them, don't know much about them. We're in the same groups. We might be comrades in the same organizations, but they're just acquaintances. They sit over there, we sit over here. Go ahead.
Associate.
An associate.
A partner or colleague in business or at work.
Somebody at work ain't necessarily a friend, they're an associate. They might be an acquaintance. They work on that floor, you work on another floor, right? They're in that department, you're in this department. What makes you a friend? If you're not hanging with each other outside of work, you're just associates, acquaintances. But if you start meeting up after work, going on trips together, dining together, having family suppers, you're more than an associate, more than an acquaintance, right? You pass a comrade. We're doing activities together. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Colleague. A person with whom one works in a profession or business.
So associate, colleague. I mean, some of you in your ministries in your churches and people are just associates, colleagues at church. Acquaintances. Not necessarily friends, comrades. You know what I mean? It may not even be anything past that, right? I shake their hand, we hug, Shabbat Shalom, but ain't nothing past that, right? That's why it's so easy for you to talebear, lie, get all up in people's business, because it's nothing more than an associate or an acquaintance. Let's go to Matthew 7. So when you look at these general terms, we got more definitions because you got to learn something. Like I said, just learn one of anything. You might just learn something right there. Matthew chapter 7. But 3.8 billion people hold this Bible. This is my Bible. I do what it says I can do. I am what it says I am. Right? Some of you hold it infallible. Some of you will kill people behind this Bible. You'll disassociate and you don't want to do no business with people. It's the greatest divide.
Right.
I said 3.8 people hold it. I didn't say 3.8 people agreed of what it says. But you do what it says you're supposed to do, right? Read Matthew 7 and 12.
Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you.
Out of the 7 billion people, whatever they believe, whoever they say that they are, we as scripture followers are supposed to know whatever that you would men do to you, go ahead.
Do ye even so to them?
Wait a minute. That doesn't say that they're going to treat you the same way. But what we're supposed to know as Bible followers is whatever you want your homies at school to do to you, you should treat them that same way. Even to the point of telling them that, hey, bro, I ain't only want no smoke. I follow the scriptures. All I expect you to do is what I do to you. And if I respect you, I respect it back. I expect respect back. Now what we talking about doesn't even matter. You're interested in that girl. I'm not interested in fornicating with that girl. You are. That's how young people should be talking to each other. I'm not looking at, she's beautiful. I'm not looking at sleep with her like that because the scriptures tell me it should not be so. I mean, you can blow people's minds by using your mouth and your intellect. Right? Whatever you want done to you, you do to others. If we all followers of this script, this is a Christian nation, it should be reciprocal, but we know it's not reciprocal.
That's right.
Because everybody holding this ain't doing what it says. Go ahead.
For this is the law and the prophets.
Read it from the top and we'll keep going.
Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would do to men,
Whether you're a colleague, associate, acquaintance, comrade, whatever you want done to you. But what we worried about? We worried about what other people doing. But right off the top in this lesson of betrayal by those that eat with you, I'm trying to establish something here. You're not supposed to be worried about how others is treating others or others is treating you. You're supposed to be worried, biblical principle, how you treat others. Because you have to answer for what you do, not what. You ain't going to go up there and be snitching to the Most High. Well, look, so-and-so did, or so-and-so, well, at so-and-so church, or at such-and-such camp. You're not going to be doing that.
That's right.
You're going to answer for what you do according to what you were supposed to be, what you were commanded to do versus what you're actually doing. Slocky. Go ahead, Op.
Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you,
Yes.
do ye even so to them.
Uh-huh.
For this is the law and the prophets.
I follow all the law, statute, commandments, and prophets. But do you really?
Do you really?
Do you really?
For real.
Let's keep going. Because that's the golden rule. I remember in Vacation Bible School, golden rule, school. You got some Christian teachers in there. They might be in first, second, third grade. I remember I started hearing that golden rule. I was very young. Can't remember if it was in BTU, or was it Vacation Bible School, Sunday school. Somewhere we was hearing about do unto others as you want. No, don't take his crayon. No, don't take the toy. Do unto others. It was somewhere. I was somewhere young and somebody was dropping that on me, right?
Yeah.
Training the kids up. You don't want nobody to take your toy? Don't take nobody toy.
That's right.
You don't want nobody to take your crayon? Don't take nobody crayon.
That's right.
Right? Let's keep going. A few more definitions. The title of this lesson, betrayal. What is betrayal,
The action of betraying one's country,
Uh-huh.
a group,
Uh-huh.
or a person. Treachery.
Treachery. What is treachery?
Betrayal of trust.
So betrayal, you're talking about betraying trust.
That's right.
How much trust do you give an associate? Not a lot.
Not very much.
I trust that you're supposed to follow the corporate code of conduct. You're supposed to be on time. You're supposed to be clock in, do your work, clock out, keep to your business, right?
That's right.
A comrade, you're going to follow the bylaws of our organization, right? You're an acquaintance. I see you at the games. I see you at the PTA. You know, I see you in passing. Not a lot of trust, right? An associate or an acquaintance shouldn't betray you. Somebody comes to your church and they leave your church and got something bad say about your church. Why you got all the smoke? You don't know them. You never sat with them. Your pastor shouldn't be worried about it, your bishop. I mean, they were never anyone of importance. They sat in the back row. They didn't really get involved in the committees and community. Like, how betrayed are you? Okay, they was there 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They ain't really do nothing much for the ministry. How much do you feel betrayed? Because betrayal is treachery. Go ahead.
Deceptive action or nature.
How do you know if they were deceiving if you never known them? How you know that person betrayed our organization? He betrayed our trust. He betrayed our church. He betrayed our pastor. Treachery. What? How do you know that if you don't even know these people? Oh, because somebody in your church or your organization or your camp said so? Well, what if that person is lying? You never knew. It's crazy that online and on social media, you see so many people that don't know these people in person. Let's look at your social media since everybody been shelter in place for almost a year. You don't know the person on the other side of your Twitter finger, your thumb thug. I heard somebody say thumb thugging. On the other side of your comment in your Twitter space, IG, you don't know these people. You're an acquaintance, you're a subscriber, you're a visitor to a page, and on the other side, that person is either showing their real self or they're acting
right? Or they're trying to show some propaganda to move you in a certain way. How is that betrayal? You betrayed the black race. Man, as far as I've been alive, people of color ain't never got along.
That's right.
Even in the same church, organizations, and groups.
Families too.
So in your family too.
Family too.
So when you start talking about betrayal, betraying a person, betraying a group, trust, deception, what's the last part?
Violation of allegiance.
Wait a minute, it got to be some kind of something that's bound you together. Your job don't bound you together. I'm going there because I have to put in this time to get a check, to put food on my table, keep my lights on. But I have met people that are super gung-ho about their company, about the company that they work for, but they don't own that company. You ain't got no stock or dividends in it. Man, come on. Clock in, clock out, keep to yourself, do your work, do it excellently, and move on.
That's it.
But boy, as soon as somebody leave a job, everybody chirping. Oh, you know what Betty did? You know what Jane did? You know what John did? Yeah. Hey, you don't know these people really. You don't know what was really going on at home with these people, right? So we're talking about a violation of an allegiance or of faith? Wait a minute.
That's what it say, y'all.
So if I know that you're supposed to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, or if I knew that you was raised in the same house, in the same peary bed, sleeping on same grandmama and them floor, right, eating the same food, we got some kind of connection. Wait a minute, if you family, we even got the same genetics flowing through us. That's how tight a bond can be of faith and confidence.
Confidence, that's the one.
Confidence. You don't got no confidence in no associate, no acquaintance. You putting too much into it. Your coach, your teacher. Wait a minute, they there to do a job and they don't want to hear nothing from no kids and say if you're a grown-up student, your teacher or your professor just want to teach what they got to teach and move on to the next class and go home. To do what? Sit in the comfort and peace of their dwelling with people they have a confidence and allegiance with, right? That they shouldn't be betrayed. But when you leave your house, you can expect all the smoke wherever you go. Because you don't really know these people. There's no allegiance. You don't know what you're going to run into when you leave home. Let's keep going. So betrayal is the ultimate backstab. And if you don't know these people, how are they really stabbing you in the back? Oh, because your group is supposed to be the group, or my frat, or my fraternity. How dare you speak on my organization or my group, which you have allegiance to? Because I don't have allegiance to it. That's why I can say whatever I want. You have allegiance to it. You have a problem. You have an expectation from your comrades to uphold whatever you believe.
That's right.
I ain't in your group. I ain't in your church. I didn't grow up in your house. You shouldn't have no confidence, no trust. You shouldn't care what I say. Because I ain't in there. I'm outside of it. Right? And I also know that we all hold this same Bible, but I got uncles and cousins and friends and relatives. Man, we holding the same book, but I know ain't none of them read it. That's right. They're all pseudo, on the surface, just enough to keep on sinning and doing what they want to do. I don't hold no expectation in them with my salvation, with my faith, and with my walk. But people that say they are bishops, mores, in the ministry, rabbis, whatever, now that's a whole different thing. I would expect you not to betray that which in what you believe. So where am I going? Okay, let's go to Matthew 24. Let's see that this is not like some uncommon topic, some taboo topic which we should not be discussing. Let's see exactly what 3.8 people Messiah said. Matthew 24, verse 9 and 10. Read it out. This is future prophecy. Go ahead. In the latter days. Go ahead.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
So this Messiah that people mistakenly call English Jesus, 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 Yeshua, Yahshua, Yahoshua, Yahweh, he said you're supposed to be hated. Okay, we don't really want that part. Another lesson.
Yeah.
I just threw that out there to let you know that if you ain't being hated, you ain't doing something right according to Scripture. When you open your mouth, wait a minute, they shouldn't even want you to open your mouth because you're going to quote Scripture. You're going to put life out there. They don't want that. That's a divide. But watch verse 10. Go ahead.
And then shall many be offended.
Wait a minute. People supposed to be in their feelings, feeling some kind of way. Why? Because you follow the Messiah, and they was going to hate you off the top just because you are following Scripture. But 3.8 million people ain't hated. They made a whole nother enemy. They're saying they're hated by people they don't even know in other religions. Wait a minute, you're going to be hated by people that say they follow the same Scriptures.
That's right.
Why you worried about people that ain't following the Scriptures? You need to be worried about in your own house, in your own denomination, in your own faith. That's right. Your eyes looking out and somebody inside going to stab you. Go ahead. From the top, verse 10.
And then shall many be offended.
Many going to be offended. Verse 9 said nations. Now he's saying many. Go ahead.
And shall betray one another.
Shall do what?
Betray one another.
The action of betraying one's country, group, or person, treachery. Basically, the betray of trust. Shall betray one another's trust. Blood family ain't it no more, is it?
Nah, ain't it?
We grew up day one from the mud. It ain't enough no more, is it?
Nah.
And I don't care how many social, societal, fraternal, whatever group you want to join, it ain't going to be enough to stop betrayal.
That's right.
Especially if you're in a group that says you can be whatever religion you want, but we're going to come up under a different allegiance. How you going to trust that? The Messiah said, many going to be offended, shall betray one another. Go ahead.
And shall hate one another.
See, the stuff you saying people hating on you for is vanity.
That's right.
They hate on me because I got my gray contacts. They hating on me because I got my blue hair. They hating on me because my red bottoms. They hating on me because I got my Yeezys. So superficial, so pseudo, so childish.
That's right.
Ain't nobody hating on you because of your obedience, because you not obedience. Oh, you just hating on me because of my Kappa cane stick. Nobody care about your stick.
That's right.
They hate on me because I'm a Q dog. You a what?
A Q dog.
Dog. And you bark, arf. You mean like my dog that's peeing on the floor? How have you excelled yourself? But y'all, that's debased.
That's right.
But y'all to fight, close a club, shut down a parade, because somebody done disrespected my Mason apron.
That's
Wait
right.
a minute. How all of a sudden is your group associations done superseded basic humanity?
Teach out.
I won't do to you what I expect you not to do to me.
That's right.
Your groups and associations have a superseded your basic knowledge of your Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, I just said a whole bunch there.
Yeah, they heard it.
Huh? Your cum laude, your Harvard, your education has now exceeded your humanity.
That's right.
I know some secrets you don't know, so that's why you can't show love and courtesy and respect basic humanity traits? But the Messiah said it was going to be that way.
He said it. It's in red.
But we supposed to be hated, offended, betrayed because of our walk and our allegiance to what these scriptures say. Not because y'all just hating on me because I go to one church, or I go to Potter's house, and we got 400 ministries. Y'all just hating on our worldwide reach. We the biggest Israelites camps in the world. Are you hated because you're teaching and living the truth, or you hated because you got a whole bunch of people in one place? Sometimes the lessons will come together, then the Most High show me something online, or I'll be watching something and it just pertains to the lesson. I'll give an example right here in this point. I just happened to run across last night after I finished the lesson. Sometimes it'd be in the morning right before 5 minutes, 2 minutes before 12. But I finished it last night, and then I run across an hour-long video about the Hebrew Israelite group Yahweh, Yahweh. And many of you who don't even know the story that claim to be a Hebrew Israelite, let me tell you what you should do. Go to YouTube and Google documentary of the Yahweh movement in Florida. You know what these jakes was doing? They was killing people that didn't give homage to Yahweh, Yahweh, this Negro who started saying he is the Christ.
Oh.
They wore all white. You can see Yahweh, Yahweh in Israelite groups today.
That's right.
If it wasn't for Israelites, it'd be more people keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But it's people running around saying that they believe in Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah. They some darn devils.
Teach, Ak.
This group had to be taken down by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and it is my conclusion, based off of what I saw, that they should have been, because even though they had Torah, walked around, fringes, Mitri's on, but behind closed doors, they had mercenaries going around killing people that didn't believe in that leader. I'm saying they had hit squads like the mob. You hear what I'm saying? Like Crips in the Blood, like they sending out hit squad. You know, like all these rappers worried about hit squads coming to hit them. This was Hebrew Israelites in Miami in the 80s that actually was killing their own membership. Well, they had to be just associates. We didn't really know them.
Yeah.
But if they was doing stuff like they bought a whole apartment complex and they was starting to kick out the residents so that they could bring in Yahweh believers into the apartment complex. When the people didn't want to leave, they was killing them. They was strong-arming them, putting their stuff out on the street. Do unto others as you want others to do. You see why I put this story here? I want you to go investigate that group. Because then, 20 years later, in the early 2000s, we get another Israelite group in New York. Israelite Church or something, Jesus, right? With the Comforter.
Yeah.
Now he driving around in Maybachs, in the club, tip drilling, embezzling and defrauding the members, and their group is under the FBI watch because they also are throwing people off buildings.
Yeah.
Just like the Yahweh, You hear what I'm saying? But we all holding this Bible, but that don't mean we are all believing the same thing. Betrayed by one another. Listen to me, what's my point? It's hard for an associate, a colleague, an acquaintance, a comrade. It's pretty hard for them to get close enough to betray you. I didn't say like kill you, like mess with your internet. Like I'm talking about close enough to betray you where you feel like, man, that hurt me. Like betrayal is something you feel. The person that's betraying you don't feel nothing because they got some kind of reward out of hurting you. You're the one that's hurt through betrayal. You follow what I'm saying? You're walking around saying, I'm going to treat everybody like I want to be treated. But how do you know that same person on your row, on your pew, singing in the choir, oh, hallelujah, pray through it. How you know that person feels the same way? That new person in the choir might just be trying to take out whoever's getting all the solo roles in the choir. So they're going to go back there and they're going to clap the hardest. They're going to rock the hardest. They're going to sing the loudest. But their whole goal is to get in front, put everybody behind them, and they'll do whatever it takes to not be the new person, to be the solo person that after church everybody like, you sure sang. I'm just trying to show you betrayal and hatred in your congregation.
That's right.
I want to read. What do I need to do to be a reader? Because I'm a reader. Hey, I want to be on the security team. The brothers is getting all the attention. It's betrayal happening in your church. Oh, who that sister that came up with the kids class? I want to be her because she get to come up before the congregation. It's people that say they left the world and converted from the world, but they still want the rewards
Of the world.
that the world gave them.
That's right.
They got treachery in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to the movie real quick and try to tie this movie into what's happening in the church. Because in the movie, it showed you what you should have got from the movie was betrayal from within, from comrades and people that were supposed to be in allegiance together. But really, the people were sent in from an outside third party. And it is a real thing that's happening, even though that was a movie with a lot of embellishment. It is really happening even more in 2021, 2020 than it did back in the 60s. But it's a term called COINTELPRO. What is COINTELPRO, Art?
It is intelligence program. In 1956, unknown.
Counter-intelligence program. Co-intelligence program. Counterintelligence program. COINTELPRO. It started in 1956 and it's still going on today. Go ahead.
Was a series of covert and illegal projects conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI.
Wait a minute. It was legal projects. Is that what it say?
It says it was a series of covert and illegal.
Wait a minute. Illegal. It don't mean that it's right that sister come in and she trying to hate and show discord just to get the solo singer out so she can just say, well, you know, I can sing too. I can write music too. I can produce music too. You know, it'd be a congregation full of rappers and singers and producers that don't want to be in the choir because they don't want to follow those rules. I got a talent, but I just don't want to be doing what everybody else do. I'm better than that. The world is giving me accolades. But coming back to COINTELPRO, it's covert and illegal activity, in this case by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigations. Go ahead.
Aimed at surveilling.
Surveilling, meaning watching, meaning that brother that want to be a deacon, that brother that want to read, he's surveilling. I want to see who doing what. And some of them are bold and they'll come up and say, well, how much money I got to get to, teach? I mean, what do I need to do to come up and, pray before the congregation and sing? Some people are just bold like that. They walk into a new congregation. Oh yeah, who I need to know, who I need to rub palms with to get in a place of power. But Federal Bureau of Investigations, they did stuff like surveilling, infiltrating. Go ahead.
Discrediting.
discrediting. See, the part of an informant and a treacherous person, they come in and infiltrate and discredit the group or the organization. Go ahead.
And disrupting domestic American political organizations.
So this is the blanket terminology of COINTELPRO, but we want to see how specific it is to the 41 million Negroes, right? Mm-hmm. The head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, in an article in the Desert Sun, which is a news publication in California, in 1969, July 16th, 1969, there was an article published in the Desert Sun, and it quoted the head of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, and what did it say?
Washington UPI, the Black Panther Party represent the greatest threat among the black extreme groups to the internal security of the United States.
Wait a minute. The Black Panther Party, who was less than 5,000 people in the United States, was the greatest threat to America, says the FBI in 1969. Go ahead.
FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover said today. Hoover said in his fiscal 1969 annual report, the increased activity of violence-prone black extremist groups had put more in investigative responsibilities on the FBI.
What violence was the Black Panther Party doing? Feed people, protesting, marching,
putting up signs.
What violence? It ain't like the Crips and the Bloods, you know what I'm saying? Or any mob, No Costa Nostra was the violence, people that actually like killing people and, leaving body parts all over the world. Like the Black Panther Party, what were they really doing for the FBI to say that they are the biggest and greatest threat? Go ahead.
Of these, Hoover said the Black Panther Party, without question, represents the greatest threat to the internal security of the country.
Security of the country.
Internal.
But we know that the FBI, they like to infiltrate
That's right.
groups. I don't care if it's a Kemetic group, Hebrew group, Christian group, whatever kind of group you want to call it. If they are people of color, they're going to be a threat. Let me prove my point. Read this, Ak. Have you ever heard of BIE? Well, what is BIE, Ak? Listen.
In the United States, Black Identity Extremists.
What? Say it again.
Black Identity Extremists.
Wait a minute. In 1969, J. Edgar Hoover said the Black Panthers were an extremist group. The Black Panthers, right?
Black extremist group.
A black extremist group. But we read earlier that COINTELPRO was aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, disrupting domestic American political organizations. So they had deemed the Black Panthers political.
Right.
Political. I'm about to make a point. Yeah. Political in order to surveil them, infiltrate them, discredit them, disrupt them.
That's right. Come on now.
Now watch this. In the United States, BIE, Black Identity Extremists, was a what?
Designation used by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
When?
From August 2017 to July 2019.
What's those dates again?
August 2017 to July 2019.
Okay, go ahead.
It first appeared in a counterterrorism report.
Counterterrorism. Now here you see this word terrorism associated with the Panthers and black extremism. Political. Go ahead.
Dated August 3rd, 2017. Censored thousands of American police departments and described safety concerns about allegedly violent African-American activists.
You know what happened big time in 2017? You know what it increased? political death by cops.
That's right.
Let me reword it. I meant photographed, televised deaths by cops on black people. Let's just use that term. So-called black people. Increase. I didn't say it wasn't going on, but it started increasing and getting in the newspapers to the point where we had the riots and stuff, right?
That's right.
All the way up to George Floyd, but before George Floyd, we had Michael Brown and Trayvon and Sandra Bland, and it just started escalating, right? You don't think it was calculated? Why? Well, I'm telling you it was calculated because the FBI just released a report to all the police officers. I ain't make this up. You can just research it yourself. Go ahead.
The term was discontinued when the FBI merged several classifications under the umbrella term of racially motivated violent extremism.
So they had this report dropped between 2017 and 2019. All the police was on a rampage on that. We going after all violent African-American activists, not extremists. Anybody that was an activist saying, I speak for my people, power to my people. Hey, we're not racist. We're just saying we deserve ours. Anybody out there, anytime somebody was drugged by chains, hung in trees, and anybody would speak out in their own town, the cops already knew that's our target. Let's go after them. Guess what happens? They ended up being shot down. And then it was televised. It seems to always be somebody photographing it with a phone, right? Or videoing it with the phone, right? Guess what else started to pop up around that 17? I can't remember the actual dates, but you started hearing now Black Lives Matters. It's like they created an organization to now hate. And they use that to publicize the future years, right? But keep going. The term was discontinued. Oh, we read it all. The term was discontinued. And then they now use in the FBI racially motivated violent extremism. All right, I'm gonna play this video right now. You're gonna hear it, sisters and brothers, on social media, but you won't be able to see it. I want you to listen with your ears. This is a congressional hearing, and who's speaking, the female, is California Republican Karen Bass, and she's asking the current FBI director questions about black folks being investigated, arrested, and tried for no reason, being labeled black identity extremists. This is the FBI before a congressional hearing. Do you hear what I'm saying? This happened in February the 5th, 2020. What happened right after this hearing? COVID.
Sure did.
But right before COVID, the FBI was before the congressional committee answering why people labeled by them as black identity extremists were being investigated, arrested, tried, and I'm going to put murdered because of the report that was put out in 2017, 2018. Here's how the conversation went. Listen.
Forward. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, Director Ray. Thank you for being with us today. And I know you've been here for a very long time. You know, we have spoken many times about black identity extremists, and I definitely want to ask you about that today. I understand that
Wait a minute. Bass is saying she personally has had many conversations with the then director of the FBI, Mr. Ray. That's W-R-A-Y. We've had many conversations about black identity extremists.
the Bureau no longer uses BIE and instead categorizes these cases under the broader label of racially motivated violent extremism.
You just read that, right?
But one, I wanted to know if you guys have really repudiated the whole BIE category.
Have you
'Cause
really
I know when we've
stopped
talked
the
about it in
category?
the past, it really wasn't Didn't seem to be that there was much evidence that there were black identity extremists.
You never
At the
showed
time, it was
evidence that
longer
there were
than
really black extremists.
Something about black
but you had the
identity
category.
extremists that threaten police or attack police. So tell me what's different.
So
Wait a minute. So just like the Panthers in the 60s, there was no proof that they were a threat to the country. Here we are in 2020, February the 5th, and the Congress, Representative Bass is questioning the FBI. You rolled out this report to all the police in the country, but you had no evidence of any black groups committing any violence against anybody. White, black, or indifferent, you had no proof. She said, what has changed? That's the question.
I found our conversations before to be, very constructive and very valuable. And we also engaged not just with you and your colleagues, but also with Noble, with whom
Great.
we have a great relationship and
that's
are working
She
more
said,
closely
great,
than ever.
answer my question.
We have, as you mentioned, changed our terminology as part of a broader reorganization of the way in which we categorize our domestic terrorism efforts. So we took a whole bunch of categories, not just the one that you mentioned, but a number of others, and consolidated it down to really 4 buckets. And the reason for that is
What are the 4 buckets?
Listen to 4 buckets.
What are the 4 buckets?
She's sharp.
There's racially motivated violent extremism,
Racially motivated.
which is any kind of violent extremism that's driven with a kind of racial intent of one
So
sort or another, no matter
anybody
which
that is
direction.
out there screaming Esau, white man, the devil, anybody speak, you niggas, you this, you spit, anybody that's out publicly speaking about anybody else racially, you're gonna fall under this new racial category. So every Hebrew Israelite camp out there is on. It's no longer the black extremist. What's the new name? Racially motivated violent extremists. Racially motivated violent extremists. This is what he's saying. They broaden the category just like when you're going after one fish, you cast the whole net and you bring all these people in, but really you just wanted that albacore tuna. I really just wanted that swordfish. Everything else we just gonna push back into the water. I cast in a whole net. See, the net was narrow from 2017 to 2019. The police forces in America had permission by the FBI to go in, infiltrate, discredit, and anybody else that you can roll back up. All you rappers, anybody that we can RICO and put under any of our category. See, they don't need RICO. That's drugs, right? Murder. So they created a whole new FBI category that anybody that is speaking racially and violently, you're going to be my slave, you're going to kiss my feet, any of that kind of stuff, they're going to stick you under this new category and they're going to come get you. They're not going to come get you. They're going to Judas and Messiah you. That's right. See, the thing is, they don't need Judas no more. They made the Messiah the informant.
Yes.
Pause. Let's finish the video. I'm going to get to that here in a minute.
There is
Racial, right?
Anarchism / government extremism. I may not
Anybody
have the
speaking
label
against
right,
the
but that
government is
covers
now
kind
an
of variety of
extremist.
everything sort of certain kinds of
You
militia
look,
stuff all the way over
Antifa.
to kind of more of the anarchist.
We hate the government. The
maybe
government
sort of
need to be taken
Antifa-like,
down. That's the second
kind of
category.
methodology. There is abortion violent extremism.
Anybody
People on either
speaking
side
against
of that
abortion.
issue who commit violence on behalf of
Like bombing
views on
the
that
abortion
topic.
clinic, stuff like
People on
that.
either side of that issue don't commit violence.
Well, we've actually had a variety of kinds of violence under that. You believe it or not, but
Really?
at the end of the day,
Buildings and-
Anybody going after these Planned Parenthoods, he's saying, we taking you
Those are
out.
the 4.
What's that?
Those are the 4.
Those are the 4, and the point is,
Those are the 4. We won't go
point is
back,
we
but
wanted to
you can go
underscore,
Google the article. Listen,
what I told you earlier.
the
but
point
wanted to make it
is
even more clear
the black
that at the end of the
extremist
day,
side. That's what she
for
wants.
us, it's not about the ideology. It's about the violence. That's where we weigh in. It's not that
See-
the ideology is
see,
important.
He said we changed our terms, and it's not about the group's ideology, it's about their violence. I.e., I'm telling you, that's the Ruach. I'll tell you, Yahweh, Yahweh. And that group that they associated, that same Comforter church, that's the same church they're saying shot up that Jewish bodega. See, if the Israelite camps and groups ain't committing no violence, there ain't nothing for the FBI to do. So let's infiltrate, put somebody in there, create the violence.
That's right.
Let's create the violence. These Israelite groups aren't really doing nothing violent. The woman said, what is your proof? He is going to cite that church. The Comforter been locked up. But his church is one, people that went to that church are being credited with shooting up that Jewish bodega. So now, people, when they hear Hebrew Israelites, people that was in the 80s, first thing they thinking is Yahweh, Yahweh. And recently, in the last 5 to 10 years, they're thinking of the church in East Coast, whatever the name of it, Israel Church or something. That's who the FBI had. They created that monster within Hebrewism. Watch now, listen to the conversation.
Us as Americans, but we only investigate violence.
You hear that?
Crimes that go with
Violence.
But so
We wanted
under
to
the
make clear
racially motivated violent
Forget them other
extremism,
three
how many
categories under this
African-American
one.
or black groups are considered under there?
What groups?
Well,
Listen.
again, I want to be clear. We don't investigate groups per se. We have properly
Listen.
predicated investigations into individuals.
So
and
the
in some
individual
cases, they
got to
may
be
have
put in the group.
co-conspirators,
He
but
said
in
the
each of those
FBI
instances,
doesn't go after
it's where we
groups.
have
So like
three
Judas and the
things: credible
Messiah,
evidence
we putting people
of a federal
in
crime,
there.
credible
to discredit
evidence,
the whole
number two,
thing.
of violence or a threat or use of violence, and then number
Think
three,
about the
on
movie.
behalf of some ideology.
So
if we have
so-
those things, only if
Right.
we have those things will we open an investigation.
So, are white supremacist groups under racially motivated violent extremism? Or do white
That boy
supremacists
said-
have a whole separate category?
Well, again,
Oh,
I want to
well,
stay away from
well.
groups. We certainly investigate white supremacist motivated violent extremism.
So
in the
no,
same category that we're talking
They're
about.
not
So, for
under that
example, we
racial
just,
category.
uh,
They got
this
another
last
category
month,
for them.
Arrested 8 members, I think, of a group known as the Base. And there were arrests that were made not just in my home state of Georgia, but also
Getting
in
ready
Maryland.
to go to
Yeah.
Virginia, correct? That was the
What's
group that was the group that was on their way to Virginia?
All right. So we're not going to listen to it all, but listen to that. So 4 categories now under the racially motivated violent extremism. I'm talking to my sisters and brothers that now consider themselves to be Israelites. There's a motivated, systematic attack on the Israelites. You can't go after any particular group. The FBI is saying, I'm going after people that are in the group. So I'm looking for that radical person in the group that's talking about kill, why they kill this, shoot that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Yahweh and them in Florida, they was going with machetes, chopping heads off and body parts and ears. So if you come out and you're an Israelite group and you say, hey, we the Dagger Squad, hey, we like to wear knives on us, you are already flagged. You got to ask yourself, who has infiltrated us and who's our Judas? Or who's our Messiah that's been flipped, right? So let's get back to the lesson, right? So we started with the definition. We started with betrayal, right? We explained what COINTELPRO is. We explained that now the FBI has put Hebrew Israelite groups in the same category as the Black Panthers or any kind of black extremist group that I don't remember Israelites carrying no guns. No. But I think the biggest thing they were scared about in the 60s is Negroes carrying guns. But as far as I can remember, our brothers that are in these camps carrying Bibles when you see them on the street. But it's not the activity you see on the street. It's the activity you don't see at nighttime that the group in Florida or New York conducts to its own membership primarily. and then the public that don't adhere, right? Now we explain that BIE is no longer BIE, it's now RMVE, racially motivated violent extremism, and it works the same way. The COINTEL never changed. They just changed the terminology. The tactics is still surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, disrupting. And I've already showed you through examples how you tie that into your congregations. That's right. But now I want to show you something here. Let's go to 1 Maccabees. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get there, listen to the quote. We're going to use this going forward because remember I said they just showed you Judas in the Messiah movie because they don't need Judas no more.
Right.
Your new leaders are the informants. Listen to J. Edgar Hoover's quote. Look at this quote. Read it out.
There will never be another black Messiah unless we create him.
You got all these new black dynamic leaders. You got them in Kemetic, you got them in Black Panthers, you got them in the Black Nationalists, you got them in the Pan-African movement, Hebrew, like Christian. You got all these people on social media now coming out saying our way is the truth, and they're getting all of this leadership, right? You even got NFAC not effing around. This dude gets out, starts quoting he's an Israelite, don't wear no fringes, don't have no beard, don't keep no Shabbat, don't keep no feast days, can't even call on the name of the Creator, right? And you got all of these other black groups coming up under him like he's the new black Messiah. But what did J. Edgar Hoover say?
There will never be another black Messiah unless we create him.
We, the FBI, trains, educates him, and then puts him out there to be the black leader. There's never going to be another Martin, Malcolm, Garvey, Douglas. There ain't going to be another one that's going to be righteous. We waiting on the real Messiah. Anything else, you got to check and prove it. Why? Watch this. 1 Maccabees chapter 1. Remember, the title of the lesson is still Betrayal by those that break bread with you. I ain't forgot. We just spent an hour on the intro. Inside joke. 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. Go ahead.
In those days went there out of Israel.
This is in the time of the Greek rule that's not in your King James Version Bible, but the Greeks did rule before the Romans. Go ahead.
Wicked
men
who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Make a covenant with who?
The heathen.
We got wicked Israelites now in leadership position, now starting up their own Israelite churches that have already made a deal with the heathen. What they say, the dog that barked the loudest, the one that's out there screaming. I just showed you the evidence. Anybody that is racially out there talking about kill Whitey, the white man, the devil, he gonna be our slaves, talking all of that crazy talk, they are the ones that have probably already cut a deal with the heathen. Right. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Go ahead.
So this device pleased him well.
Go ahead.
Then certain of the people were so forward.
Forward. These people now on social media are so forward. You got every Israelite group talking about if you ain't a camp and you ain't on the street screaming Esau the devil and kill the white man, you're going to be our slaves, you ain't a real Israelite. That's right. But either they are ignorant or stupid.
That's right.
Ignorant means they don't know that they are now on the racially motivated FBI list and their time is limited.
That's right.
But most of them are saying it's a badge of courage. I'm on the ADL list. I'm on this list and I'm on that list. Who talks that way? Show me in scripture where Hezekiah or Jeremiah, show me where they did that at. We're going to go out here and disrespect and degrade and we're going to call out the Romans. We're going to call out the Greeks. You Assyrians is the devil. They'd have been dead. They go out there and say, we out here to reach our people. But they end up talking propaganda and language directed at the heathen. And the only way you could, that's not even the art of war. The only way you're going to come out and talk about your enemy that way is if your enemy already know you're going to do it.
That's right. You got the green light.
You got the green light. You already made a covenant. Now that way you could be very forward. Go ahead.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
Teach us your ways. I mean, what's the deal gonna be? You know what I'm saying? If I do go down, if my people figure me out, you know, how you gonna get me out of here?
Right. What's my guarantee?
If my people figure out I'm hustling and that I'm working with you, how you gonna get me out of here? How did it work in the movie? They sent other agents to confirm to Judas that they was doing the same thing with other groups and other Black Panthers all over the country. Going in, discrediting, dismantling, infiltrating. You don't think it's happening that way in the Hebrew Israelite movement, especially with them brothers in the camps? Let's have a unity camp. Oh, yeah, let's just bring all the informants in one place. So who the biggest target in all of our camps? Let's have a unity camp and let's stick that guy out there. Here's the new hustle. We don't need Judas to take out the Messiah. The Messiah is Judas. Now the FBI want the people.
That's right. Make it plain.
He wants the followers. I want the radicals within Hebrewism, Pan-Africanism, Kemetichism, Egyptologism. Who are the people in there that want to kill Whitey? The leaders are already made covenant. They just giving up the brethren. That's the new hustle. That's the new betrayal. What is an informant? Read that.
An informant, also called an informer.
So you hear a lot of people saying agent, right? But what they're really meaning is that person is an informant, meaning they inform someone. Go ahead.
Is a person who provides privileged information
Privileged, confidential, secret information that you send in an email, that you send in a DM, right? I'm going to warn, listen, sister, brother, I'm going to tell you right now, if you got an issue with anybody, I'm telling you right now, don't send no email, no text, and no email, text, DM, tweet. Because now the thing that everybody's an informant. Everybody is screenshotting and everybody got receipts. You know what you hear when everybody say, I got receipts? Everybody is an informant. You got good informants and you got bad informants.
That's right.
Because an informant does what?
They provide privileged information about a person or organization.
A person or organization. Let's use that group in Florida that was going around butchering and killing people, right? Selling drugs, moving their products to other Yahweh camps across the world. They needed to be shut down. That was a poor representative of the children of the Most High.
That's right.
Oh, our community, it's taboo to snitch. Well, what if it was your people getting their head cut off?
That's right.
Scared to walk outside their house because they got sniper teams and killers at your back door from your own church. Go ahead.
To an agency that the term is usually used within the law enforcement world, where there are officially known as confidential human source.
Human sources of information, CHS, go ahead.
Or criminal informants.
Criminal informants.
CIs.
CIs. See, there's informants. Criminal informants are like this. I committed a crime, and in order to reduce my time, I'm going to go out on the street, gather privileged information, and bring it back to law enforcement. For one, crime is a sin. So those are the ones that snitches get stitches. Because on the street, it's already illegal. And all you have done is taken your illegal activity, decrease the punishment of it to get them somebody else higher than you.
That's right.
A confidential human source could be those people that was saying, yeah, I know that our church is really pushing methamphetamines and really pushing Molly across the country. They talking about it's incense and oil, but it's really crack.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? In the name of Yahweh. Huh?
No.
You got confidential human sources, then you got criminal informants. One of them is necessary. One of them ain't, because you'd never been flipped as a criminal informant if you wasn't committing a crime.
That's right.
Ain't that what you saw in the movie? He committed a crime, and they flipped him and made him join that group, which he didn't even care nothing about the Panthers. Because what did he want in return from the agency? A car and money. What the show with Vin Rain? He wanted butter.
He want butter.
Guns.
And butter.
You understand? He was already whacked out. He was already faking like he was an FBI agent.
Yeah.
That might be hyperbole, right? That might be a little embellishment. You know, guy pretending to be Fed, ended up working with the Fed so much he thought he was Fed. But y'all didn't see I ain't gonna even drop that. But an informant is someone that gives privileged information. You know, you're in the church council and there's somebody just always got privileged information. I know what Brother Michael doing on his private time. I'm friends with Sister Mo, and you know, this is what she be doing on her Instagram. Huh? You know, the deacon, you know, his son be on there doing TikToks, you know what I'm saying? He be doing TikToks to the WAP video, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
You got somebody that's always an informant, but it's like, what are you trying to get out of your informant?
Right.
So let's get into this story, Matthew chapter 10. Let's get into the story of the Messiah. Many of you who grew up in Vacation Bible School and church, you know this story very well. So this is the primary story that they use the terminology Judas and the Black Messiah, right? And many of you thought it was going to be religious in orientation, but I'm showing you it is. Because many of you have Judases in your church and congregation. You know what I mean? They're informing, but they're not informing to get butter and guns.
Right.
They're not trying to be the top boy on the street. Mm-hmm. They just trying to be choir director. Mm-hmm. They just trying to be the soloist. Mm-hmm. I just want to be the sister that do the announcements.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of the deacons that wear the white gloves doing communion.
Head of benevolence.
Huh? I want to pass out the grape juice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to handle the money. You hear what I'm saying? This is how the Judases are in the congregation, and y'all forbid your pastor is a Judas.
Whoa.
He not just happy being leader of a congregation. He want to be like bishop. I want to be over the whole Southern Baptist Conference.
Oh, man.
What they doing now? I want to be coordinated. I want my chain with my collar. You know, the Kojic people now, you know, I want to be bishop.
Yeah, they want their pendants.
Right. But in the Hebrew Israelite movement now, I want to be on that concert. What can I do to be in that Hebrew group and do that music? See, we're going to leave music out because the Hebrew movement in music is starting to look like this world music, right? And now the Judases in music are like the managers and the label owners. Is now, you know, all these artists is dying. We done had now a Houston rapper die in Atlanta and a California rapper die in Houston, I think.
We just had one in Dallas.
Another artist in Dallas passed away.
Yeah.
Who is asking for all of this blood by musicians? And how soon is it going to be that way in the Hebrew music world? I digress. Matthew chapter 10, it's story time. Let's look at one of the biggest stories of treachery
Yeah.
in the Bible. Let's just read the real story of Judas and the Messiah. How about
That's
that?
right.
Matthew 10, verse 1. Go ahead.
And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
Wow. The disciples got powers. Well, you can't get no Jake no power today, boy.
Wee. No, sir.
He ain't gonna want money. He gonna want to be the Messiah.
Yeah, man. I'm the Messiah.
I'm the Messiah now. Let me break away and get my own disciples. Verse 2, go ahead.
Now the names of the 12 apostles are these. The first, Simon.
Drop down to 4. We want to get right to it.
Simon, the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot,
Iscariot,
who also betrayed him.
I'm gonna need you to get these names right, boy. This vacation Bible school stuff.
Salakia.
Judas Iscariot, who did what?
Also betrayed him.
Listen, we talking about the title of the lesson is Betrayal. By those that break bread with you. You got to be closer than an associate. You hear what I'm saying? Judas, to betray Christ, he had to get close to him. Right? How did old boy get close to the leader? It wasn't Edric Cleaver, it was what was the Black Panther leader that they I forgot the names. Yeah, get the name of it. How did he get close to him though? He got the car, right? He got the car and he was able to transport him because he didn't drive. And that's how he infiltrated and got close to him. And then he saved him, right? He jumped in and saved him at one point, right? Fred Hampton. Yeah. Fred Hampton. So he jumped in and saved him, but he got the car to drive him around, right? So Judas, in the Bible, one of the 12 disciples, is going to betray the man that gave him power to heal, cast out demons, unclean spirits.
All manner of disease.
Wow. One of his own. Let's go to Matthew 26. I'm just showing you that this is somebody that your Messiah handpicked. He handpicked Judas. But many of your congregations, you got associates and strangers joining your groups and organizations all the time. I want to know the truth. I want to wake up. I want to come to the Most High. And you got these people coming from all walks of life. But you can't see the informant or the treacherous person because they're going to come in.
Subtle.
I can sing, you know. I mean, if the Most High called me to teach, I'll teach, you know. But he really wanted to teach.
It's in his heart.
It's in his heart. He really wanted to be the leader. Watch this. Matthew 26, verse 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Yahushua had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples.
He said unto who?
His disciples.
The ones he selected. Go ahead.
You know that after 2 days is the feast of Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified.
He telling them, I'm going to be betrayed. I'm going to be betrayed to be crucified. You remember last week we showed you how all the 12 disciples died.
That's right.
Crucifixion was a main tactic by the Romans who created Christianity.
That's right.
But their main tactic of killing people was crucifixion.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the place of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas.
These the leaders. All these different organizations come together. You got the church with the aldermen, with the chief of police. All these people have done come together in your community, verse 4, to do what?
And counseled that they might take Yahweh by subtlety and kill him.
We need to create a plan and a scheme to kill your Messiah. Go ahead.
But they said not. But they said, I'm sorry, not on the feast day.
We can't do it on the 15th day. We can't do it when the Passover start. We got to do it before the Passover. Go ahead.
Lest there be an uproar among the people.
So I read this to let you know it had to be a plan in place. Your Judas ain't going to come in to your group without a plan being already made. Okay, if there's no plan, then he needs to get information to find out how to execute the plan. However, whether they come in with the plan or they get into your group, a plan is going to be made on how to what? Take you out, lock you up, or destroy your whole ministry and organization. All right, drop down to verse 14. Go ahead. Same chapter. Go ahead.
Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot.
We already see all these people have met. We got the chief priests, the scribes, the elders have all met at Caiaphas' house. Now we're at verse 14. Go ahead.
Went unto the chief priests, and he said unto them.
Now Judas, how did Judas get away from the 12? Judas done went off and met with the chief priests. It's like you done got all the way into T.D. Jakes' office. Like I'm saying, this is a high representative in the church, right? You done got all the way into the office of Creflo Dollar. Go ahead.
And said unto them, what will ye give me? And I will deliver him unto you.
Wait a minute. They was already asking themselves, how might we subtly kill this man? They in there talking, right? They having a whole big meeting in the conference room. All of a sudden, here come Judas. May I speak? I am one of the 12. And what did he say to him? Verse 15.
And he said unto them, what will you give me?
What will you give me? Guns? Butter? Can I get a Maybach? With that boy up there in New York, he driving around in a Maybach.
Yeah, man.
How you using the Most High money? All these people in there, oh, the comforter. And he's stepping out the Maybach like Goldie or like a pimp. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, praise the Most High Yah. I'd have had to hit him. Boom! Give me my money back, sucker. How you in a congregation and your leader step out of dun, 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 got his fringes on everything. Fringes all down. Huh? Oh, praise to the Most High. Man, if you don't give me my money back.
For real.
Huh?
For real, huh?
But what was he doing? He had them people in fear because he had his squad, because he was running his church like a game.
That's right.
And if you spoke out, I think they still act like that.
Yeah,
you speak against their leader, they going to take you out. This is a common theme with Hebrew Israelite camps and churches. That's why the reputation is so bad.
That's right.
I'm not
Jeez.
saying that it wasn't being done in Christian churches, but why come in the truth and say you awake just to act like sleep Negroes?
That's right.
So Judas comes in and he say, hey, what you gonna do for me, player? Huh? What's in it for me? Huh? What the FBI agent kept telling old boy in the movie? We got you 5 years for this and 15. You know, I can't remember the numbers, but he just kept throwing that over his head till it didn't work no more. Go ahead.
And I will deliver him unto you.
I deliver the Messiah to you. I ain't got to tell you who I am because y'all know who I am. They already was asking themselves, how could we put a plan together that would work where nobody knew it was us that put the hit out on him? So what better way than, hey, you offered your service to us. That's the worst informant. Hey, I got some information on you about the church and the camp. Go ahead.
And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver.
Let it be so.
They made a
Guns and
covenant.
butter. Made a covenant. What did I tell you a covenant was? A contract. An agreement. Give us his life, we give you 30 pieces of silver.
Man.
Why you think they named that movie that? He wasn't the only life they was taking, was he? They let him know we've been doing this. We've been doing this in other countries. Go ahead.
And from that time, he sought opportunity to betray him.
He was just waiting on the right time. The right time to let them know. Drop down to verse 19. Go ahead.
And the disciples did as Yahushua had appointed them. And they made ready the Passover.
You remember it was time for the Passover, right? 2 days before the Passover, Caiaphas and the elders was already trying to put a plan together. So we talking about in a 2-day period, Judas let himself be known. You know, this is what I can do for you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12.
So this is the even before the Passover. You remember when Passover began, not Passover night into the 15th, because he had to be the Passover leading into the 15th day. So this is the even right before. So the even of the 14th, right? Right. He had the Last Supper with his disciples. Then he became the Passover lamb.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
And as they did eat.
As they what?
As they did eat.
Betrayed by those that eat and sup with you. Go ahead.
He said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
Man, it ain't nothing like knowing that somebody that is in the congregation is treacherous. But the Messiah handpicked everybody at the dinner table.
Man.
And he knew through the Spirit that one of them was going to betray him.
One of y'all ain't right.
Go ahead.
And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I?
Is it me? Is it me? Who is it? Is it me? Because I ain't had no thought like that. Come on now. When is this going to happen? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Is it you? Is it you? Now everybody looking around. Is it I? Verse 23, go ahead.
And he answered and said, he that dipped his hand with me in this dish,
the
same shall betray me.
And you know, in the other verses, in the other book, I think it might be John. I didn't want to add too many scriptures, but as he said it, Judas was dipping his bread in the pasta sauce, just to give you a visual. It don't say that, but he dipping his bread in the matzah. Not matzah. What's that stuff you like to eat? No. Hummus, yeah.
Hummus.
Let's just put hummus over there. He dipping his bread in the hummus and olive oil.
Oh, man.
Right? That's over that way. Go ahead.
Not the hummus.
Go ahead, Art.
The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed.
Ooh, woe to him by which the Son of Man is betrayed. Somebody in the room is going to betray me. And he already said earlier, I'm going to be crucified. So they saying, it's somebody's fault at the table that this man we've seen do all these miracles and who's given us power is going to die. Go ahead.
It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
And just like that, Judas, any of you treacherous lying snakes that's done got into any organization and group in church, it's better you wasn't even born.
That's right.
Because if you found out, you are worthy of whatever comes your way. Verse 25, go ahead.
Then Judas, which betrayed him,
did what?
Answered and said,
watch this. You know, we joke like this all the time. What Judas say?
Master,
is
it I?
Is it me? What'd he say?
He said unto him,
thou sayest. Go ahead. I can hold it. Go ahead. Read it again. Do it. I ain't going to do it. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, thou hast said.
Is it me? It can't be me. Hey, thou said.
And thou knowest.
Thou hast said.
Thou hast said.
Look, what did we read earlier? Everybody else was like, is it me? Is it I? Is it I? But when Judas said it, he said, thou sayest.
Man, what?
Thou hast said.
Pointed him out.
You said it. You said it, I didn't. Right, we said it. You said it, I didn't.
Not me.
Let's keep going. Drop down to verse 36. Now we know how that conversation went. You know, immediately the devil came into Judas. He left, went about to do his business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Told him, you know, because Most High told him what his plans was to go into the garden and to pray.
Yes.
So as soon as Judas got that news, it reared up in him, 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces. I'm going to get my Bentley.
Man, I'm going to be right back.
I'm going to be rich. I'll be right back. I got to go to the potty.
In the restroom.
That boy went for 40 minutes. That boy went running. Caiaphas. You got that 30 for me?
I got the news.
You got that butter?
I got the news.
I know where he gonna be. All right, verse 36. Go ahead.
Then cometh Yahweh with them unto a place called Gethsemane.
You remember he took 3 of his most elect to come with him to pray while he was praying. Go ahead.
And said unto the disciples,
What'd he say?
Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder.
So he sent the most, all right, he already been betrayed by one of the 12. Here go these 3 that's supposed to be watching his 6. I need you to pray, intercede with me, right? That if this thing be not the Most High, the Heavenly Father will, that it will pass me. Mm-hmm. Guess what they was doing? Sleep. Because they just ate, right? You know, you get full, you get that sleep-itis. It ain't nothing like when he coming back. You know what I'm saying?
I've been there for a long time.
He been gone a long time, man. My eyes heavy. Yours too. Yeah. You go to sleep, I'm going to watch you. Man, you go,
first watch.
You get sleep and then, me.
Then you, when I'm going to wake you up, I'm going to get second watch. Man, how shots.
All right, you go ahead, go to sleep. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah,
go ahead. You sleep? Oh, you sleep? Okay, go ahead. That's how it went down. They fell asleep on the job. Mm-hmm. Drop down to verse 45. Go ahead.
Man. Then cometh he to his disciples and said unto them.
They sleep. What'd he tell them?
Sleep on.
Go on and sleep then. And guess what they did? No, we ain't sleep. We ain't sleep. What's up? So he come back finally. After a couple of times, now he finally come back and say, go on and go to sleep. Why? Go ahead.
And take your rest.
Go on and go to sleep. Because what?
Behold, the hour is at hand.
It's this time now. I'm about to leave. Go ahead.
And the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners.
Go ahead.
Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me.
No, I'm just kidding. Get up, because he who I said was going to betray us, they hear. Verse 47.
And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came.
Yahweh Shai, is that you? I can't see, it's dark. I know you here. Say something so I can see you. Yahweh Shai. Peter, y'all there? I can't come out the dark. Go ahead.
One of the 12 came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests.
Is that Judas? It look like he got an army with him.
Man, that is that boy Judas.
Yahweh, we ain't got to go out there.
Man,
we could just go run the other way.
He got a bunch of people with him.
He got a bunch of people. Messiah, don't push his Messiah. And poof, Messiah say, the time is now. Go ahead.
And from the elders of the people.
Go ahead, drop down, 48.
Now he that betrayed him gave a sign, saying,
oh, I see y'all. I see. Hey, y'all get out of here. Hey, come here, Messiah. Come here again. All praises, all praises, all praises. Shalom. Go ahead.
Whomsoever I shall kiss.
I'm just go over here into the dark, and I'm going to try to bring him into the light so y'all can see me kiss him and greet him. Shalom, shalom. The one that I kissed, that's him. We're going to take him. Go ahead.
That same is he. Hold him fast.
Grab him quick, because they might get off in the dark. 49, go ahead.
And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master,
All praise, Master. Loud, right?
and kissed him.
And kissed him. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto him,
Uh-huh.
Friend,
He said what?
friend,
No, he did.
friend.
He handpicked him. He knew he was going to betray him.
My boy.
This wasn't no acquaintance. They break bread. They've been traveling, sleeping out under the stars together, running from people trying to kill him and stone him. He say, "What up, Aki? Go ahead,
Bro. Wherefore art thou come?
man. Where you come from up here, man? Which way y'all come up? Cause I got people down that road.
Yeah, man.
How y'all get up here? Is there another way up here? Friend, where y'all come from? How y'all get up here? Go ahead.
Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him.
And snatched him up, huh? All right, let's keep going in the story. Drop down to verse 55.
Yes, sir. And in that same hour, Yahushua, Salakia. In that same hour, said Yahushua to the multitude,
Uh-huh.
Are you come out against the thief with the sword?
They done grabbed him, right? Y'all come at me like a thief? What the problem is, you got the feds kicking the door down. Why y'all coming in here like a, because you know the children of the Most High supposed to be about his business. That's right. We ain't supposed to be in the funny business. That's right. You know, selling oil with a little oil. You know what I'm saying? A little oil with a little bit of syrup. You know what I'm saying? A little lean with a little, you know what I'm saying, black love oil. A little baby powder with a little powder.
Powder. Mm-hmm.
We not supposed to be involved in that. Huh? We selling women clothes with a little lingerie. You know what I'm saying?
Lingerie.
We all into the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. That ain't supposed to be what we about. So the Messiah say, y'all come at me like I'm a crook? Go ahead.
Are you come out as against a thief
Uh-huh.
with swords and staves?
Yeah.
For to take me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I sat daily with you teaching in the temple.
Man, y'all see me teaching all over this land. Go ahead.
And you laid no hold on me.
I was in the temple. I seen some of you same guards. Y'all ain't touched me. Verse 56, go ahead.
But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
Might be what?
Fulfilled.
The law and all the laws and commandments is fulfilled.
Scriptures of the prophets.
Fulfilled that he was taken. Mm-hmm. And that he should die and shed his blood for the remission of sins.
That's right.
Scripture fulfilled. Go ahead.
Then all the disciples forsook him.
What did his disciples do?
And fled.
They did what?
They forsook him and fled. They ran.
Ain't that the job of COINTELPRO? Infiltrate, discredit, destroy the whole group and organization. That's right. Lock them up or kill them. So that the rest of the people flee, going to Cuba and all over the world, and you don't hear from them 20 years later, they got a documentary.
Yeah.
Where you been for 20 years? You an activist and you about the people and you've been gone for 20, 25 years. You got a documentary, you done got paid.
I've been studying abroad.
Man, you should have stayed here. Verse 57.
Real.
What deal you cut to make you come back and now you can do a book deal? Right. Who want to read that book? You still alive? You might be an informant.
Man.
Ain't that what we come to know? Especially when they start sending out the, after 50 years, you start to be able to see the records and pay for them. Go ahead, verse 57.
And they that had laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were as assembled.
So if you lucky, you get to go to jail, right? Transfer to the feds, and you get to be locked up the rest of your life if you lucky. Let's go to the next chapter. Matthew 27, verse 1. Matthew 27, verse 1. So now they done gave him up, right? Judas at first was like, you got my money? Huh? I got that info.
I need to see that bread.
Okay. Remember the Most High said it'd be better off you wasn't even born. Better you wasn't even born. Man. Verse 1, go ahead.
When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death.
So you remember they was already there the night, 2 days before. So now they done came back, say, we got him. Oh, we got him. All right, now we got to get our story together so we can get, the people behind us so we can get Pontius Pilate to do our dirty work. We got to get all our stories in line, right?
Line up.
All right, go ahead, verse 2.
And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor.
Uh-huh.
Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself.
The same spirit that got on him once he found out that Yahushua would be in the garden, it came off of him. Now it's common sense. It's just like Pharaoh, right? If Pharaoh's heart was hardened, it didn't come up off of him until his firstborn was dead. Then he was like, oh, what have I done? I could have been let him go. Now my boy gone, right? Now here go Judas, come to his senses. He wake up, boom, go ahead.
And brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders.
Now he got his bag with him, and he like, man,
It wasn't worth it, bro.
what did I do? Go ahead.
Saying, I have sinned.
I have what?
I have sinned, and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us?
What is that to us?
See thou?
We had a covenant. We had a contract. We had an agreement. You bring us the Messiah, and we give you 30 pieces of silver. What the problem is? Huh? You was facing 20 years. We made a deal for 5. Do you 5 and shut up. Well, now it's time to get locked up. I could bring you somebody else. Nah. Go do your time. Now you scared to go do your time. Because they're going to be like, what you in here for? Hey, man, that sentence come with 20 years. How you got 5, player? Hey, that boy rat right there. Yeah, he snitching. We got to deal with him. We don't like that at all. We'll drop a dime on it. Oh. Go ahead.
See thou to that.
See thou, basically, get out.
Deal with it.
Get out. Get out our face, player.
You got paid.
Uh-huh. So go to verse 4. Keep going.
Saying. That was verse 4.
Verse 5. Go ahead.
And he cast down the pieces of silver into the temple.
I don't want it.
Temple tantrum now.
Give me 20 years.
I don't want this.
5 years. Give me 20. Hey, it's too late, man. Take him away. Go ahead.
And departed and went and hanged himself.
He did what?
He departed and went and hanged himself. But committed suicide.
All things had to be done in order. Go ahead. Verse 6.
And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said,
They took that blood money and did what?
it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury.
We can't even put it in the offering plate. We can't use this for nothing dealing with the temple. They just set a dude up for murder, and now they worried about, now you worried righteous and worried about the offerings. You just use church money to kill the Messiah. We can't use that. We can't put that. We can't use that. No way. Go ahead.
Because it is the price of blood.
It's the price of blood. Let's keep going. John chapter 15.
Blood money.
John 15, verse 13 and 14. Hey, what did the Messiah call? What did he call Judas after he came out the dark?
Friend.
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 Go ahead, verse 13.
Greater love.
What color is that in y'all Bible?
That's red in my Bible.
All right, go ahead.
Greater love had no man.
This is real love, man. I know you're going to betray me. Hey, we got a snitch among us. We got a mole in the midst of us. Messiah was like, I know. I see that boy shifty.
I see him.
He playing with the bag. Well, why you got him with the bag, Messiah? Hey. It's all right. They like, what are you talking about? It's all right. You know that boy's stealing. Boy got them new J's. He always got on new clothes. Look at us.
Man, that boy got them air sandals on, man.
You know that boy is stealing. He got that new schmuck with the hoodie.
Yeah.
That boy got fur and bells on his hoodie, Most High. You know that boy stealing.
His friends is shining. They bling, bling.
Man, he got that Arabian linen on that thing, man.
That boy drinking smooth camel milk.
Is that silk? Yahweh, you don't even got silk on. That boy got on silk. It's all right. Be at peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Verse 13.
Greater love had no man than this, that a man laid down his own life for his friends.
Wow, he called that dude a friend.
Man.
Even though he knew he was going to betray him. But you also know, you know what he knew? He knew he was going to kill himself too.
Yeah.
He knew that there was going to be a judgment for his actions.
Swift judgment.
Sisters and brothers, many of y'all in the congregation being treacherous, acting as if there ain't going to be no repercussion for your actions.
That's right. Living haphazardly.
Verse 14.
Ye are my friends.
Who is his friends?
If you do whatsoever, I command you.
Judas was just doing what was in his heart to do. It had to be done. Somebody had to betray him. The plan had to go in place. The chief priest then was praying, we need a plan. And guess what? The other scriptures say the devil came upon Judas and he gave them what they needed. Give me Sirach chapter 6. Check this out. Let's get some wisdom and some edification from Ecclesiasticus chapter 6. This is our intermission before the next story that many of you probably haven't heard, but I'm going to share it with you. But let's get some wisdom real quick, because Messiah, like, friend, might have been a little sarcastic, you know what I mean? Devil. He called Peter a devil. Verse 1, go ahead.
Instead of a friend.
Listen to me. We're not talking about an associate. We're not talking about an acquaintance. I told some brothers and sisters I used to know, man, y'all use that term friend too loosely.
Yeah.
Verse 1, go ahead.
Instead of a friend, become not an enemy.
See, they worried about everybody being their friend so much, they never thought that they should be thinking about not being an enemy. Whoa. Let me sit back. What do you mean, Ra'ah? Okay. The golden rule, we're supposed to do unto others as we want done unto us. All right, hold that spot. Put your finger. Let's go to a scripture. I'm just going to let the Ruach flow real quick. Let's go to Philippians Chapter 2. Let's go to Philippians Chapter 2. I'm trying to make sense of this, because instead of you worrying about everybody being your friend, you should be worried about you not being an enemy.
That's right.
All right, Philippians Chapter 2, read verse 3 and 4.
Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory.
If you always arguing, they not your friend. You always arguing, you are not friends. You are associates, you are acquaintances. You might be a comrade in some organization or group. That don't make them your friend because you've been around them for 15, 20 years. That's right. In the bank, we used to call it know your customer, right? KYC. If you can't tell me nothing about them, you don't know them to be giving them refunds back. You know what I'm saying? Tell them up there, business customer will be up there, hey, can you take that fee off? Oh, yeah. I mean, I was a manager of the bank. I'm telling you, they used to come in bringing my tellers gold necklaces. I mean, because, businesses, they can have all of their stuff overdraft and it'd be like $500 of fees. And they come in there, get whining and dining the tellers to go in there and put in that code, know your customer, I know him. That's why I refunded these fees. But here we go in the scripture. Here we go, people walking around. Oh, I got all these friends. Just because Facebook say they your friends, they not your friends.
That's right.
Facebook. Hey, let's just call them subscribers, not subscribers. Let's call them followers. No, not followers. Let's call them friends. So people be in their feelings. Nobody commented on my stuff I'm gonna delete everybody. Wait a minute. These people ain't your friends. You just knew them a long time ago. You ain't talked to them in 10, 20 years. That's right. Go ahead, Art.
Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. That's the same precept. You're supposed to be thinking about others more than yourself. Go ahead. Let not every man on his own things be every man also on the things of others. Let's go back to Sirach. Read it from the top. Because see, when you worried about others, you worried about impressing people. You worried about dressing right. You know what I'm saying? You worried about how you look. You worried about if you shine your Stacey Adams today on this Sunday or this Shabbat. You worried about how you looking, and you worried about people complimenting you on your new glasses, on your new watch, on your new dress. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, look at your hair wrap. Oh, you sure is doing this, sister. Oh, praise to the Most High. Hey, it gets on my head in the back of my closet. Stop lying. You've been looking for a new hair wrap all week just so somebody can say, ooh, you get your bedazzles on your head. It's just something I've been had it. I just didn't know when to wear it. Boy, you wearing that crown, sis. You wearing that crown, sis. See, you trying to establish people liking you and your friends on stuff. It never lasts. That's right. I don't use that friendship tag easily. You know what I'm saying? But what it sound like? Oh, she just my acquaintance. Do you ever do that? You ain't known this sister but 3 months, and then another sister come in the 4th month. Oh yeah, this my sister. This my Akim. This my Akwath. You don't know her. You only know her 1 more month than the other sister. Yeah. You know, you want to come to my house? Now you're trying to gather everybody to what you do so that they don't acquaint and you feel left out. Because many of you can't live alone. Go ahead, Art. Instead of a friend, become not an enemy, for thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name. That's why you got bad reputations. Your reputation and your character goes before your name. You know, oh yeah, I used to go over to that church, and then they say your name, and they're like, That's an ill name. And what? Shame. And what? And reproach. Hatred. Go ahead. Even so shall a sinner that hath a double tongue. See, it's all about what people run in their mouth. You all talking that big game, trying to get your friends based off of who you are and what you have, as opposed to not being an enemy. How do you not be an enemy? You don't lie. You don't tell bear. You don't be speaking about other people's business. You mind your business, right? You care about others because you don't want nobody doing it to you, so you're not going to do it to them. Hold that. Drop down to verse 7. Where you at? Yeah, drop down to verse 7, man. We still right there. We trying to get some wisdom. If thou wouldest get a friend. See, if Most High going to say somebody's a friend, right? He knew exactly what he had. I done walked with Thomas them and James them and Peter them. I know exactly who I got. Peter, put away your sword. I know you about that business. Put it back. I don't need nobody dead. You know what I'm saying? You got to know who you got around you. That's right. Go ahead. Prove him first. You got to be proving people. You calling people your friends, they don't know nothing about you, and you don't know nothing about them. How that work? How that work? It don't work, huh? Go ahead. And be not hasty to credit him. Everybody on your Instagram ain't your friend. Just because they like your pages, oh, he on my live, they put some comments. You don't know these people. You know the comments that they make, you don't know nothing about them. Social media is the devil. It makes you antisocial. You know people without knowing them. You don't know them at all. Go ahead. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. See, some people is just a friend for their own occasion. Oh, you a deacon? Oh yeah, I'm gonna like all your stuff. You got social media? What's your Twitter? Huh? Oh, what committees and what you do? What you doing in the church? Oh, I'm gonna join the choir too. Oh, I'm gonna join security too.
I'm gonna go evangelism. That's what the men doing. Some people are just doing it on their own occasion just to get around people or just to do what other people are doing. Huh? She got a boutique. Yeah, I'm gonna befriend her, see if I can get some. She got her own makeup line. Yeah, that's free makeup. He sells shoes. I need a shoe guy. People are around you for the occasion. She get people jobs. I really don't like her, but she can keep people employed. I'm going to keep her on my list. Go ahead.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
So when something happened to you, though, they're a friend, but as soon as you need their help, they're not calling. This is what acquaintances do, right? They be liking all your stuff, man, your ministry, y'all bless you, right? Then you put a project together and you need to build something or you need help. They ain't got no money. I ain't got it right now, but if I did, I would. Just to turn around and then need money or need people to support their business, and now they feel some kind of way because you reciprocated. Wait a minute, you're not supposed to reciprocate it. Just because you didn't help me don't mean I ain't supposed to help you. But you always not helping. Wait a minute, read that again. Read it again. Verse 8.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
So many of you just have people around, say they're your friends. That's my aqua, that's my sister. I support your music, but it's only for your own occasion. Because when you're in trouble, that's when you find out who your ak and who your aqua. Who my sister and who my brother. Verse 9, go ahead. Finish that.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
That dude, he got arrested. What happened? They probably did it. They probably did it. They out there building their church. They got their land. They probably was selling some drugs or something. When something bad happened, they probably out there sinning. I know, they was teaching against that virgin birth. That's probably Christ punishing them. When something bad happened, they don't think good first. Everybody thinks bad first. You don't do that with your real friends. You don't even do that with blood. Even if they don't believe in you, you'll call a relative, man. Hey, I ain't got nothing but $10. I'll send that. Hey, I'll be there. You need me to do it. I'll be there. I actually be there and not just say it. But you got to prove people you saying is your friends. That's right. Verse 9, go ahead.
And there is a friend who being turned to enmity,
being turned to hatred
and strife
and arguing
will discover thy approach.
They're going to hate on you because they hate you. That's right. But there's people around that be really like, I'm going to keep my enemies close. My friends closer, my enemies closer. For their own occasion. It's people that really think and live like that, whether through ignorance, they don't know, they're not consciously thinking that way. And there's some people that are actually consciously thinking like that. I can get something from them, so as long as I can get something from them, I'm going to befriend them. But as soon as things don't go my way or I can't get from them what I need, we ain't cool no more. I don't believe the ruach with you, I don't believe in what you teach, you know what I'm saying? I could do it better. I got me in my house, you know what I'm saying? Verse 9, go ahead. 10, go ahead.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table.
At that table, Judas, my friend, he that dippeth in his bowl with me is going to betray me, friend. Some people be at your table, in your house, at your ministry, in your organization. Go ahead.
And will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
Hey, they like Peter. Hey, I wasn't with him. No, for real. I ain't no follower of him. I know you might have seen me around him, but I really wasn't in that church. You know what I'm saying? I was really just going around trying to look at different churches, different leaders. I didn't really follow, Ra'ah. You know what I'm saying? I just, Johnny, I was just with him. He's the captain of the team. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really like him. I ain't even know what he was about. You know what I'm saying? He just always had a lot of people around him, so, But then there's people that be at your table, come to your barbecues, at your house. But when something going wrong with you, they ain't got nothing but an on-time word. But something happened with them, hell, you better put that money on the line or you ain't what you say you is no more. You ain't holy. You ain't righteous. You done help me with my electric bill, my water bill.
What's that famous line?
What the money in the church for if not to help me? That's what they say. But when you need something, oh, you the leader, God supposed to be working with you. You know, he gonna see you through it.
They got that famous line. Where were you when I needed you, brother?
That's the easiest cop-out for sinners and wicked people in the church. Church didn't want to help me when I was at my lowest.
Man.
But we distinguishing comrades, associates from friends, from Akim, Aquad, my brother and sister in the faith. What the definition of a true friend, though? See, Judas was a friend. He wasn't a true friend.
Yeah.
What's the definition of a true friend?
The definition of a true friend is someone who has your back no matter what.
No matter what. That's right. 30 pieces of silver, you gonna give me $1 million, you gonna give me whatever, right? You gonna lower my time in jail? Ain't no more time in jail. I could do the time. That's right. Even the street cats, King Von, I could do the time. You ain't gotta kill me, you ain't gotta snitch on me. I'll do the time. Let me live, let me be. You know what I'm saying? A true friend got your back no matter what. Stop using that term friend, and you ain't worried about others. You just worry about yourself for your own occasion. This is how people betray you that sit at your own table. They don't really got your back. They got your back long as you up. But they ain't got that job they ain't got that money like that no more. He ain't had a barbecue. He ain't had a what they call kickback in a while. You know, they must be struggling. COVID must have been bad on them. They must have been sinning. Everybody can come to my house now. God been good. Go ahead.
They watch out for you and ensure you are not in danger.
A true friend, they not letting nobody talk that crap behind your back. That danger that's coming, hey, you a new member. What you know about my leadership, my organization? Sit back, be quiet. You don't know nothing yet. Who are you? Oh, I think this doctrine. Well, sit down, man. You just got here. You don't know what our doctrine is. They watch out for you when you can't see the smoke coming. Go ahead.
They will never purposely lead you into making decisions that aren't good for you.
What's the key word in that?
Purpose.
Purposely, willingly lead you into the darn fire. Go ahead.
A true friend will always have your best interest at heart.
My fall can't be your best interest. Or my best interest. My fall can't be what's best for me. Me going to jail, me dying can't be what's best for me. It's always best for the other person who's benefiting with the 30 pieces of silver. Although it wasn't even the best for you, Judas.
Right.
Let's go to John chapter 12. So let's look at the character of 12. I want to show you that the Messiah knew Judas. He knew Judas. It ain't like he didn't know Judas' character. You can't be around a man of God or a woman of God and your character not be shown.
Not be known, that's right.
We hear you. We see you moving. We see how you doing. We watching. We can see your posts. We know what's on your mind. John chapter 12, verse 3-6. Read that. Just to prove that the Messiah wasn't naive. If the Messiah knew, everybody knew. Because John wrote about it, so all the disciples knew how Brother Judas was.
They knew
Verse 3, go ahead.
They knew him. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Yahushua.
Give me an expensive male cologne. Ichi Miyake.
Yeah.
Versace.
Suchi.
What women wearing now? They still in that Chanel number 5 or is it 6, 7? Tom Ford, Chanel. Yeah, she took some expensive oil and perfume, and she did what with it?
And anointed the feet of Yahushua and wiped his feet with her hair.
What? She cleaned his feet. Many of you got feet fetishes. You won't even touch feet. But this woman cleaned his feet. And what kind of sandals you say he had?
Them air sandals.
Them air sandals. She took the Messiah's air sandals off and cleaned his feet and rubbed them with oil. You can't get your rib to even touch your feet. But she cleaned and rubbed that oil on his feet with her hair. Go ahead.
And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment.
You know how you walking down the mall and you be down by a clothes store, you be like, man, that place, woo. Hey, like they broke the whole bottle in there. It just rubbed the whole floor with what'd you say, Chanel or Tom Ford. Yeah, they done rubbed Tom Ford on everything. My people
say they burning Earl.
Yeah, they the whole half the mall smell like K&G or what's it?
That cool water.
Man, what's some stores? I don't know. I mean, I ain't been in a mall in a while. Boy, ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying?
Perfume shop.
No, the little clothing stores. M&K.
Oh yeah, you got
yeah, Dillard's.
Yeah.
Dillard's. There's still Dillard's
Macy's.
around. I don't even know if there's Dillard's around. Yeah, still got some Dillard's. All right.
Yeah, Dillard's is an outlet.
That's irrelevant. No, verse 4. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You go to the mall, you be like, ooh, smell good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then said one of the disciples.
Well, now, out of all the disciples in the room,
this one.
This dude. You got to know who around you. Now I'm talking to the righteous shepherds and pastors. You got to know who around you, what kind of deacons you got around you. You know what I'm saying? Deacons always talking about expanding. You know, we need to grow. You got to keep your eye on people like that.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? At what expense do we need to keep growing? That's right. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's the guy holding the money bag.
Yes, indeed.
Or the combination to the safe. Mm-hmm. Where the money resides. My rib just got sin on her brain, boy.
It's appropriate, though.
Man, come on, man. Got that sin on my rib.
But it's always something shady where the money resides, though, huh?
Man, you too, man. I'm gonna fire everybody. All right, verse 4, go ahead.
Then said one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which should betray him. Why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor?
Man, why this woman, why she spending that on your feet, Messiah? We could have sold that for 300 pounds. We could have got $300 for that itchy miyake. Come on.
She wasting it on your feet.
You wasting all that oil. You know how many people would buy this?
How much money we can get for that?
Come on, man. That's how we make money at the camp, at the church. You know, we sell our oils. That's our most expensive oil right there. She put on your feces. Verse 6.
This he said, not that he cared for the poor.
Listen, y'all. Listen. Judas didn't say that because he cared really to get the money and give it to the poor. Go ahead.
But because he was a thief.
They already knew he was a thief. Go ahead.
And had the bag and bear what was put therein.
Listen, he uses the money in the bag for his own personal use.
Bet y'all don't want that bag now.
Let's keep going. Let's get into the next story.
They don't want that
They
bag
already knew how he was funny with the money.
Yeah, man.
Psalms chapter 41.
Start telling people, say they want that bag. Say, oh, you Judas, huh? Bag, huh?
It's crazy because sometimes the whole church be Judas.
Man.
Everybody got their hand in the pot. Then for 5 years, nobody hand in the pot. The church grow. The church get a new church.
Yeah.
The overseer of the money leave. Now money funny again. Mm-hmm. Go figure. Psalms 41, verse 9. Go ahead. Let's see. What is King David talking about right here? You know, King David through these Psalms always talking about the enemies. I'm running, the fiery darts, hide me in your pavilion. We need to see what he's talking about. Because just like the Messiah, King David was a betrayer, and King David was betrayed.
That's right.
This is a double story for you. We're going to try to get through it kind of fast because I don't, y'all got so much to do on the Lord's Shabbat other than rest. Psalms 41, verse 9. Go ahead.
Yeah, mine own familiar.
My own familiar what?
Friend, in whom I trusted.
Whom I trusted. Wait a second. Messiah, Yahushua had a friend.
Yes, that's right.
He wasn't a true friend, but he had a friend nonetheless that ate at the table with him.
That's right.
King David had such a friend, a familiar friend. Go ahead.
In whom I trusted.
He trusted. What do we learn about betrayal or treachery?
Somebody that you trust.
Treachery is the betrayal of trust.
That's right.
Confidence. Your allegiance meant nothing. You coming here meant nothing. That's why cultish leaders are always talking about allegiance.
That's right.
Secrecy, confidence.
I need to know I can trust you.
I need to know I can trust you. Boy, you've been around some treacherous people. But David had a familiar friend. Go ahead.
Which did eat of my bread.
He ate of his bread. Meaning he ate from the king's table.
Man, boy.
Meaning he was worthy to sit at the table. Like Judas was worthy to sit with your Savior. And he betrayed him. King David said, I trusted him. He ate bread with me. Go ahead.
And had lifted up his heel against me.
Go ahead, verse 10.
But thou, O Yahweh, be merciful unto me, and raise me up, that I may requite them.
Go ahead.
By this I know that thou favorest me.
He favored the righteous because he raised you back up when you've been betrayed. Go ahead.
Because mine enemy doth not triumph over me.
Just because you were betrayed don't mean that enemy is going to win.
That's right.
Did Judas really win?
Nah, he didn't.
He had the bag.
He lost big.
But he gave the bag back and then killed himself.
He lost big, huh?
See, people on the street be like, I wouldn't have gave that bag back. I'd have asked for a bigger bag. And then they talking to you, I'd have doubled up. It'd be double up. But King David said, you was at my soul food table. You came with my family. You met my mama. You was around my children.
You ate my white pie.
Let's look at it another way. Let's go to 55th chapter of Psalms. Psalms 55. You ate my mama biscuits.
Ate my mama biscuits.
You ate my mama famous hot water cornbread.
And don't nobody get that.
Huh? Psalms 55, verse 12. Go ahead.
For it was not an enemy that reproached me.
See, listen. Hey, you shouldn't be hating on somebody that's your enemy. You should know that they're your enemy and observe them as your enemy. That your enemy ain't the problem. You got your eyes on the enemy. Go ahead.
For it was not an enemy that reproached me. Then I could have borne it.
See, you could deal with an enemy you know is your enemy. Go ahead.
Neither was it he that hated me.
People that hate on you ain't the problem. Go ahead.
That did magnify himself against me.
I see you hating on me. You know, everything I do, you do. Everything I put on my page, you put on your page. I come with this dress, you wear that dress. Huh? I get some new shoes, you got some new shoes. You know, people always trying to one-up you, right? I can see you a hater. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nothing good for me. That's not the problem. They not a problem. You can see a hater. Go ahead.
Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou.
It was thou, that familiar friend that ateth at my table. Go ahead.
A man, mine equal.
Someone that I respected, that I allowed to come in my house, to be around my children that I trusted. Go ahead.
My guide.
my guide, I listened to you. You counseled me, right? I heeded your advice. I would do what you tell me to do. Listen to King David. Go ahead.
And mine acquaintance.
My acquaintance. Remember, we defined acquaintance.
We defined it out.
Go ahead.
We took sweet counsel together.
We took sweet counsel together. Go ahead.
And walked into the house of Yahweh.
Wait a minute. This person walked with him into the house of the Most High. You walk with me. You know, people are trying to get up and rub shoulders with TD. Let me just get near his daughter. Let me get near the first lady. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this assistant pastor, right? Hey, how you become an assistant pastor? You know what I'm saying? You know, they want to get, hey, how you get a solo?
Put my name in the hat.
How do I do that? I want to go on tour with the choir. How I do that? You know, people just want to rub shoulders with the people. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Let death seize upon them.
Let death seize upon that person. That person that betrays you, that you felt was your equal, your guide, your acquaintance, that counseled together, that walked with you in the congregation amongst the Akim together in the Mashpachah, someone you trusted and had confidence in. Let death seize upon them. What did Christ say? It was better you wasn't even born
That's
for
right.
someone that you hold to that level to betray you. Go ahead.
And let them go down quick into hell.
Let them go where?
Quick into
Did
hell.
King David just say go to hell?
That's what he said.
He said it in so many words.
what he
That's how
said.
we say it today. Go to hell.
Quickly.
Go ahead.
For wickedness is in their dwellings and among them.
Wow. Someone that you hold in confidence, some that you would give your shirt off your back to be a true friend, that makes sure that nothing ever happened to them. What did that say? The best interest in heart, huh? Never purposely lead them astray. You watched out for them when they couldn't see they six, leaning they back. No matter what, death to you. Go to hell.
Quick.
Verse 16.
As for me, I will call upon Yahweh, and the Lord shall save me.
See, I ain't worried about the hater. I ain't worried about the one that telling me he my enemy. You got to be worried about the one that sit at your table and eat dinner, and the one that's trying to get up in the ranks of your organization and in your church fast and don't want to do the little things. You got to watch out for that person. But who is King David talking about? Let me see if I can give you this story in 30 minutes. I want to respect your time, because your time is important to me. Let's give this story quickly. 2 Samuel chapter 15. Let's find out who David is talking about, because everybody like Absalom. No, Absalom was his son.
That's right.
Who did eat at his table, but he wasn't his counselor or guide. They didn't walk together like that. You know what I'm saying? So we need to find out who this person was that subtly and openly betrayed King David. 2 Samuel chapter 15, let's start at verse 10. Go ahead.
But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel,
All right.
saying, as soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet,
Uh-huh.
then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron.
So this is the coup, right? This is Absalom taking over, right? Go ahead.
And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem
He had 200 men rolling with him. Go ahead.
that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything.
They didn't know nothing, but the order from Absalom is to go about and proclaim that he will reign, and he's our king. Verse 12.
And Absalom sent for Ahithophel and Gilonite, David's counselor.
He did what? He sent for David's counselor,
Yeah.
Ahithophel. Go ahead.
For his city, from his city, even from Gilo, while he offered sacrifices, and conspiracy was strong.
And the conspiracy was strong. Go ahead.
For the people increased continually with Absalom.
So he has this coup going on that's growing and growing and growing, and people are coming behind Absalom, and he had the fortitude. And I want you to write down a question. Why would Absalom think it was okay to send for David's counselor? It's a question. He's taking over. He's basically forcefully taking the kingdom away from David. Why would he think it's okay to go send for David's right-hand man or his counselor who has the ear of the king? Write that question down. Verse 13, go ahead.
And there came a messenger to David saying, the hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom.
I don't know what's going on, but everybody's crying, Absalom, Absalom is our king. So what did David do?
And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise and let us flee.
Hey, man, we got to get up out here. Well, I don't care how it happened. It's time to go. Go ahead.
For we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly, and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword.
Hey, he gonna kill all of us if he get to us. Hey, thanks for the heads up. Let's go. Mount up. Gotta go. We got a problem. Time to get up out of here. Drop down to verse 20. We out. And we ain't taking it ain't no joke. I trust whoever told me. David trusted him. And whoever was in his immediate circle and followed him, those that follow me, we out. And they got up out of there. Drop down to verse 20. Go ahead.
Whereas thou camest but yesterday, should I this day
Wait. Where we at? Hold on. Let me see. Let me get back where I was. Where we finish 13? And sword come upon us. Okay, go to the next chapter. Second Samuel chapter 16.
Okay.
Turn the page. We're going to move along in the story, right?
Yeah.
So David on the run. Absalom done took over, right? Verse 20. 2 Samuel 16, verse 20. Go ahead.
Then said Absalom to Ahithophel.
Wait a minute. Second one. Absalom sent for David's counselor. Why did he come? Shouldn't he be with David?
He should.
He should be with David.
Right-hand man.
Right-hand man, one of his counselors at his table. Think of King Arthur and his round table, right? Everybody, we should go to war. We shouldn't go to war. We should do this and do that. And David's just sitting there, okay. He was one of those guys. Out of the whole kingdom, he at the table giving his insight. Like deacons, past, you know what I'm saying? These are my confidants. You know what I'm saying? I trust that what y'all say in the prison ministry and outreach, I'm listening to what y'all giving y'all report. That guy is not on the run with King David. He's now with Absalom, King David's son. Go ahead, verse 20.
Give counsel among you what we shall do.
Wait a minute. So this is somebody that King David valued. Now Absalom values him just the same to give him advice. Question, why is Ahithophel talking to Absalom? Shouldn't he be telling David where to run and where to hide? Verse 21, go ahead.
And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, go in into thy father's concubine.
Wait a minute, it wasn't Absalom's idea? No, it was David's counselor's idea to tell him to go into his father's concubines and do what?
Which he had left to keep the house. And all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father.
You are hated of thy father. You hate your father. Go ahead.
Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong.
Wow. He done went in there and slept with all King David's concubines. So who King David run with? His men. He left the women and children. They supposed to be off limits. So why David's right-hand man would give his son the advice to go sleep with all of King David's wives?
Sleeping with your brothers and sisters, mamas.
Don't sound like Ahithophel favors King David too much. Because that's cutting deep. He was in him.
Going?
I'm going to save it. Verse 22. Verse 22. Go ahead.
So they spread Absalom a tent up on the top of the house.
Absalom say, go make me a tent up on the house where everybody can see. Go ahead.
And Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel.
One at a time, he brings his dad's wives and concubines and sleeps with them where everybody in the city can hear and see. You know, you got them tents that have the roll-up sides. That's what he had. You could see if you was on a balcony somewhere else. Verse 23.
So they spread Absalom a tent up on the top of the house.
Okay, we're still 22. Go ahead.
And Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel.
They could all see. Verse 23.
And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had acquired at the oracle of Yahweh.
This information in this counsel was so calculating, it was almost like the Most High whispered in his ear like he told Pharaoh, don't listen to Moses and Aaron. But he over here to Aaron and Moses, say this to Pharaoh. And then he said, Pharaoh, don't listen. His counsel, if David's the king and a man after God's own heart, that means this counsel from Ahithophel was on point. That's right. You want to hurt your daddy and cut deep? Sleep with his concubines. It was as if the Most High spoke it himself. Go ahead.
So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David.
With David, as if the Most High, he gave wise counsel, basically. Just like he did with David. Go ahead.
And with Absalom.
And with Absalom. Man, let's go to chapter 17. Go to chapter 17, pick it up at verse 1.
Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom.
Now here we go. More counsel. Now Ahithophel's like, now ask me this. I'm with King David. His son forms a coup. His son want to take over. I go to his son and give him advice that King David can't recover from.
Yeah.
He has basically no house. All his women and wives have been spoiled with another man.
Can't go back.
So I've taken everything from him as far as his house goes. Now Ahithophel doubles down. Absalom asked him the first time, give me counsel. Now Ahithophel is offering his service. Check this out. Go ahead.
Let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night.
Wait a second. Now he's trying to go hunt King David down?
He's right here, man.
Give me 12,000 men, I'll hunt him down tonight and kill him. Wait a minute, you was just with King David. That's right. Now you trying to hunt him down? You was just eating at his table. Eating good. You know, whoever eats with the king. You seen the Viking in the movies. You see how they be eating without ripping the chicken and everybody else outside is starving, but he who is at the round table eating good. You ain't at the table with the Most High say, hey, take this money. It's about to be the Passover. Go get it right. You know what I'm saying? Go get the best festival, get the best hotel with the best room, you know, deck it out, you know, get about 20, 50 shafers of food, you know what I'm saying? 2 of this, 2 of that. We're going to eat good on the Passover.
Best drink.
All right. We got you, Messiah, right?
Yeah.
That's how Ahithophel was at that table. I don't know how the rest of Israel was eating, but you know the Last Supper was popping. I want the best lamb. Put some raspberry glaze on it. Huh? The best. Go ahead.
And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak.
I'm going to come up on him. I'm going to do that work for you. Let me go here and bang, bang. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang. I got him. This dude that used to counsel the king is now saying, I put that work in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what these kids say today. You know what I'm saying? I rock-a-bye, I lullaby, baby. Rock-a-bye, baby. Huh? Hey, whatever you need. Hey, Absalom, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, back in my day, you know, I was, you know what I'm saying? I was nice with him, you know what I'm saying? I know King David a killer, but you know what I'm saying? I can rumble a little bit.
I can rumble with the big
Hey,
guy.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, give me 12,000 men. Wait. Give me 12,000 men. I'll be about that life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he had to get 12,000
12,000.
because he knew David was a killer.
Not 1,000.
12,000.
12,000.
You know what I'm saying? He knew David was a killer. David killed Goliath.
Because you remember the song is Saul kills thousands, David kills tens.
10,000.
Give me 12 and I'll go get him. Go ahead.
And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and I will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite
I kill them all.
the king only.
Go ahead.
And I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man whom thou seekest is as if all returned. So all the people shall be in peace.
Yes.
And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel.
Not the elders. Thou sayest that's a good plan. Go ahead.
Good. Then said Absalom,
Wait a second. Okay, that's a good plan. Hold tight. Go ahead.
call now Hushai,
Get Hushai.
the archetype.
Yeah, get that archetype. Yeah, get him. Because he be giving good counsel too. Get the archetype. Go ahead.
Yeah. Also, and let us hear likewise what he said.
Let's see what he say. This is a good plan, but hold tight or hit the field. I don't know why you so aggressive and ready to chitty back. Hold up. Go get him. Yeah. Calm down. Hold on. David already on the run. There ain't no rush. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of weary with all these concubines. Hold up. Go get Hushai.
Yeah.
Go get Hushai. Let's see what his plan is. Go ahead.
And Hushai was come to Absalom. Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel has spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou.
What you think about this plan? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give him 12,000 men. He going to run down on King David and kill him while he weak. What say you? Go ahead.
And Hushai said unto Absalom,
What'd he say?
The counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time.
This boy crazy. That don't make no sense. You know who he going after? Hold tight. My bad. Let me calm down, Absalom. That boy trying to sign his own death wish.
Gotta remember.
He a counselor. David a killer. Watch this. Go ahead.
For said Hushai.
How you gonna have an accountant go after a killer? Boy, your job is to give me counsel about money, about outreach, about prison ministry. How are you gonna all of a sudden go do some work? Do you not know who King David is? Watch this. Go ahead.
For said Hushai.
Listen.
Thou knowest, thy father and his men.
You know your daddy.
That they be mighty men.
They mighty men.
And they be chaffed in their minds.
You know, like 300. You know, like the movie 300. They mighty men. They put in that work. They skilled in swords, nunchucks, stars, staves. David ain't no joke. He ain't no shepherd no more. He's been trained by the best. You know how you watch every movie and they being trained by assassins? You know, the king is being taught and the princes are being taught from kids the art of fighting. You hear what I'm saying? David is not no joke with them hands. Go ahead.
And as a bear rod of her whelps in the field.
David is going to be like a mama who lost her children. Go ahead.
And thy father is a man of war.
He is a man of war. He ain't just running. He is running to a position which he can fight from. Go ahead.
And will not lodge with the people.
Listen to me, young men. Sometimes retreating is the best tactic.
That's right. Retreat and live.
Just because you know you good with them hands, standing in front of 10 to 15 guys ain't when you prove it.
That's right.
Especially if they encircle you. So you back yourself into a wall where it makes them have to come at you 1 to 3 at a time and you can better fight. Does that make sense? King David is running because, as we read earlier, Absalom is already coming down on him. Well, what did it say? 10,000 men? 2,000 men?
12,000.
No, 200 men.
Oh, 200 men.
So Absalom took over Jerusalem with 200 men. That's what put David on the run.
Yeah.
But Ahithophel is asking for 12,000 men.
Yeah.
Right? David ain't running. David is repositioning because he's a man of war. That's right. Go ahead.
Behold, he is hid now in some pit.
Listen, Hushai is saying he ain't on the run. He hiding in some pit. Where if you come into that cave, it's tunnel like 300. I can take more of you out. You could come with 500,000 men. But if you got to come through this narrow hole, King David is going to kill many. Remember the movie 300? They had to come through that little cliff pass, and that army was deemed useless.
they lay wait.
Go ahead.
Or in some other place. And it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there is a slaughter among the people of that follow Absalom.
See, David's in this cave, and then whoever he destroys and kills, it's going to weaken the heart of all those 12,000 men, and they going to all run with their tail tucked, saying King David has triumphed over Absalom, which means your whole coup is going to be negated because the people are going to now scream, King David, or Dawood, Dawood, Dawood. They ain't going to be crying, screaming Absalom no more. Go ahead.
And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt.
So all your valiant men that was bold enough to go against David, gonna tuck tail and they ain't gonna want that smoke. Go ahead.
For all Israel know that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men.
See, the men with David ain't no joke.
They killers.
You understand?
Some mercenaries.
The killers, you think of Artaxerxes in the movie 300.
Yeah.
Those killers that he had closest to him, I forgot what he called them. He had a name for all them people in the black. He sent them last.
Yeah.
The ninja-like people. He sent them last. So the most valiant is going to be the closest to the king. You're gonna be fighting his valiant men, but the closer you get to him, the fight is going to be tougher and tougher and tougher. Go ahead.
Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered upon thee. Unto thee, from Dan even to Beersheba. And the sand that is by the sea for the multitude. And that thou go to battle in thine own person.
So I'm telling you, if you're going to go, you need all of Israel to go up against King David. You got to come like the sand of the sea. You can't come with no 12,000. That ain't enough. Go ahead.
So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground.
We'll light upon him with so many men, he can't fight everybody. Go ahead.
And of him and of all the men that are with him, there shall not be left so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to that city.
So if he hide in a city, we're gonna it's gonna be all of Israel. We're gonna surround the city, bring ropes. Go ahead.
And we will draw it into the river.
We'll pull that city down into the river. Go ahead.
Until there be not one small stone found there.
Go ahead.
And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai, the Archite, is better than the counsel of Ahithophel.
Show you right, Hushai. Show you right. We're going to rain down on him like the dew in the morning. We're not going to give him a chance to fight out. Go ahead.
For Yahweh hath appointed defeat to the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom.
See that plan to hit the field? See, that's the Lord revealing himself. Surely he didn't want Absalom to lose. Hit the field. Be gone. Hushai. That's the plan. Go ahead.
Then said Hushai unto Zadok.
Now, wait a minute.
Zadok, I'm sorry.
Now, they accepted Hushai's plan. So once the court is dismissed, Hushai go over to the high priest and say, what'd he say to the high priest?
And to Abiathar, the priest, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel.
This and that and this. This is what I told Absalom. This is what I need you to go do. Go to King David and tell him such and such and such and such. Go ahead.
Thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel. And thus have I counseled.
See, this is how you approach the king. Ahithophel said this. Hushai said that. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to King David and say, Ahithophel said this. I said that. Go ahead, verse 16.
Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness.
Don't sleep openly in the desert. Right? Because you don't sleep openly in the desert. Because the plan is to rain upon you with hundreds of thousands of people. Go ahead.
But speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up, and all the people that are with him.
Drop down to verse 21.
And it came to pass after they were departed that they came up out of the well and wept and told King David.
And we ain't told King David, go ahead.
And said unto David, arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you.
See, Ahithophel, thus and thus said that. All right. Drop down to verse 23. Go ahead.
And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and got him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order.
Check it out.
And hanged himself.
And did what?
And hanged himself.
What is the role of a Judas? Hang yourself. Go to hell. Kill yourself. That is the result of Judas' activity. Ahithophel, Judas, Ahithophel, kill yourself. Go ahead.
And died and was buried in the sepulchre of his father.
So that's what happened to Ahithophel, right? What's the deal with Ahithophel? Why he hating on David like that? Man. Come on, you sat at the table with me. So we need to find out about Ahithophel. 2 Samuel chapter 11. We need to find out why this dude is so eager to betray the king after Yahweh's own heart. Man. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab to his servants and his servants with him and all Israel. And they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem.
David was in Jerusalem chilling. Go ahead.
And it came to pass in an overnight
Eventide,
that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house.
David get up and yawn. Oh, man. What's going on in my kingdom? Go ahead.
And from the roof, he saw a woman washing herself.
He said he saw a woman doing what?
Washing herself.
Boy, I don't know what kind of castle that is, but you can oversee everybody's bathroom. Go ahead.
And the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
Boy, David peeping and timing. Verse 3.
And David sent and inquired after the woman.
So David would have inquired to who?
Ahithophel.
His counselors. Who's next to, who do you whisper to in all your movies? Who do you see the king talking to? Who can address the king?
Hey, Bobby.
Okay, let's look at Coming to America. Who can talk to the king? Who was the dude that said, he's your queen to be? Who was that? That was the chief counselor. He followed him, right? All through Coming to America 1. He spoke for him. This is King Joffrey of Zamunda, right? That is your chief counselor, right? What he say, you do. He's not only your assistant, but it's your counselor, right? And your protector. He did what? Start from 3 again.
And David sent and inquired after the woman.
Hey, Harpo, who this? Remember that? Who this? Hey, who that? Hey, man, he got all the women. He got concubines and wives.
But he ain't had that.
But he did. Who? In question, you got a city. Then you got the royal palace.
Yeah.
And you got people that live within the royal palace. The people that live in the royal palace don't live in the city.
That's right.
They live within the royal palace. So it would be the king, his family, his concubines, his servants, and then the people that serve him's family within the city, right? His generals, his counselors, and the people that sit at the round table. What did this person that he inquired say?
And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam?
I'm saying this one that said is Ahithophel. We can do it's not even debatable once I get done, but let's just say for argument's sake, it's not Ahithophel. But one replied to King David. Why would you say it to the king this way? You could just say it's Bathsheba, but he said this. Go ahead.
The daughter of Eliam.
The daughter of Eliam. Go ahead.
The wife of Uriah the Hittite.
He told King David, this is a woman. He told him what nation she was from, who her husband was, what nation and what role he was from, and who she was the daughter of. Obviously, she's the daughter of somebody important.
That's right.
She's the daughter of somebody that David knows. And Uriah is one of his generals. Uriah sits at the table with King David, but King David's in Jerusalem, and Uriah and Joab and them are at war. What did it say in verse 1? They just defeated Ammon and besieged Rabbah. So they're at Rabbah cleaning up things. That's where Uriah is. But when his counselor told him who it was, she is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliah, who is important to him, the wife of Uriah, who should be important to David. But do you think David cared? Verse 5, go ahead.
And David sent messengers and took her.
Go on 4 to 5. We had verse 4?
Yeah, we had 4.
Go ahead.
And she came in unto him.
David sent messengers, because how do you read? The king inquires. You go.
You say?
If you don't go, you die. You better have a reason why you don't go. But he inquired to her. She didn't know he was going to have a candlelit dinner. He had roses on the bed, had all the oils out. She walking in, what in the heck is going on? It smell like Brute in here.
She was happy, but she said the king sent for me.
It smelled like Old Spice up in here. But think about it. Her husband's been gone a while. You understand what I'm saying? The king wants more. Obviously, she been given the game. Go ahead.
He lay with her.
He did what?
And he lay with her.
He sent with her. She came. He lay with her. I don't know if it was dinner involved. I'm just saying. Most of you women can't take a one night stand without some dinner, but I'm just saying she came. He lay with her. He sent her away. Go ahead.
For she was purified from her uncleanness.
So she was taking a bath, cleaning herself from being impure. What do we know about once you come off your cycle? You're very what?
Fertile.
And prone to?
Have babies.
Pregnancy. Go ahead.
And she returned unto her house.
Go ahead.
And the woman conceived.
Duh. I forgot what that's called when women be watching their ovulation and hormonal. Duh. You was pregnant. King, I was pregnant. I was with child. Go ahead.
And sent and told David.
She said what?
And said,
I got a message. Send a message back to David. Go ahead.
I am with child.
I am with child. Can you hear the proverbial mouth drop? All hell done broke loose.
Oh, man. Well, you know, messed around.
See, in the passion of one night stands, everybody be all, I'm toe up, I'm drunk, I'm on it. And you wake up in the morning, you be like, what the? The women be like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta take care of this. Oh, I made a mistake. This is that I made a mistake moment, right?
Yeah.
All right, drop down to verse 26. So you know the story. David concocts a plan to kill her husband, who's in Rabbah, right? First he brings him home, tries to get him to sleep with her. So you know how women be trapping other men with other men's babies. So they tried that. That didn't work. Then he like, all right, I'm going to have to kill that dude.
I'm going to go and kill him. He ain't taking the baby.
So now he didn't fall for it. So now we going, because he in kill mode. You know what I mean? He got PTSD. He got, all he can hear to sleep is ching, knives and arrows flying. People screaming, from dying. He ain't thinking about sleeping with nobody. Right? So now I got to kill him. So he puts in a plan to kill him. We're going to pick it up at verse 26. Go ahead.
When the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah, her husband, was dead.
Because Uriah never even came into his own house or the house that the king provided while he was at war. He never came into the house, so king sends him back out to battle with a plan to put him on the front line to die. So she hears that he's dead, and you know what you emotional women do? She did what?
She mourned for her husband.
Why mourn? You done committed adultery. You done lay with another man. Oh, my husband. Oh, my gosh. What you crying for? Your baby with the king. You done got the bag, right? You done committed adultery and sin. You got the bag, right? But you know the story ain't over, because what did I say earlier? There's always a consequence for your actions, for you betrayers. David betrayed his general. His wife betrayed her husband. David betrayed Yahweh. There's a whole bunch of betrayal in this story. But we ain't done yet, because you remember we trying to find Ahithophel. Go ahead.
And when the morning was past.
And when she was done mourning, her 7 days, however long David allowed her to mourn, I think it's 7 is custom. Go ahead.
David sent and fetched her to his house.
Man, bring that woman here.
And she became his wife.
She became his what?
His wife, and bare him a son.
She did what?
Bear him a son.
So David got a son now, right? Go ahead.
But the thing that David had done displeased Yahweh.
It did what?
Displeased Yahweh.
Hey, it ain't good. All right, let's go to chapter 12. We in 12. 2 Samuel chapter 12.
Yeah.
Pick it up at 7.
And Nathan said to David.
So the Most High, it displeased the Most High. So the Most High sends his who? His prophet. Who does the man of the Most High or the king fear more than anybody? The prophet. Here comes Nathan. I got a message for you. Message. Verse 7, go ahead.
And Nathan said to David.
What'd he say?
Thou art the man. Thus.
So he gives David this whole parable and says, David, what should happen to the man that did such and such? David said, he should die. Kill him. Nathan said, this parable, this story was you. He's like, huh? Me? You remember what Judas said to the Messiah? Is it I? Thou hast said. That's that David. What? If he was a woman, he'd be like, clutch my pearl. King David said, what? How was that parable and story about me? Go ahead.
Thus said Yahweh, God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul.
I picked you, Judas. I picked you, David. Out of all of the men of Israel. I picked you out of your own family with all your brothers. I selected you. Go ahead.
And I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives into thy bosom.
So you inherited all Saul's wives, all the concubines. You inherited everything, David, shepherd boy. Go ahead.
And gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things.
I would have given you even more if that wasn't enough. Because I told you. Go ahead.
Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of Yahweh?
You
to do evil?
disobeyed my commandments by what? Committing murder, committing adultery. What else he do? I mean, again, let's just stick with them two. Peeping Tom, lying.
Lusting.
All of that. Covet. Go ahead.
In his sight, thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite.
Let me be point blank. You kill Uriah. Go ahead.
With the sword.
With the sword.
And has taken his wife to be thy wife.
And then you had a nerve to take this adulterous woman as your wife, as if that was lawful. Go ahead.
And have slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon.
You used the nation of Ammon to murder him. You didn't do it yourself, but you know there's murder by others. Right. Most High ain't slack. He ain't slow. You understand what I'm saying? Some people use other people to hurt you, so it ain't directly you, right? Like the high priest and Caiaphas and them used Judas so that they wouldn't know, hey, oh no, the Most High was betrayed by his own. No, he betrayed by Caiaphas and the elders. They put that plan together. That's right. They put the bag behind it. You know how all these rappers is dying and nobody can find the hidden hand? Who actually put the bag on the murder? It was a murder. He did it, but who paid him to kill him?
Who put the hit out?
Who put the hit out? Go ahead.
Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house.
The sword, the what?
The sword.
The death is not going to depart from your house.
That's right.
That's what sword mean, like people coming against you to kill you and shoot you. Go ahead.
Because thou hast despised me and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife.
Man, that's a bad thing there. Go ahead.
Thus said Yahweh, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house.
So this is the punishment upon King David for all of that he stirred up. Go ahead.
And I will take thy wives before thine eyes and give them unto thy neighbor.
Who's the neighbor that took the wives? Absalom. His own family. His own son.
His own flesh and blood.
Here's the curse. But how did it happen? We read that. Absalom was told by Ahithophel to sleep with his wives. Over there it said concubine. Here it say wives. Go ahead.
And he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun.
Oh, then they build the tent in the sight of all Israel.
And that's S-U-N.
Go ahead.
For thou didst it secretly.
You
but
plotted secretly.
Mm-hmm.
You crept in unawares, took this man's wife, then killed him secretly. Go ahead.
But I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun.
Before all of Israel, I'm gonna ruin you. I'm gonna ruin your name, your shame. What they say? The hatred towards you, that reproach. Mm-hmm. You gotta prove a friend. You gotta prove what's going on. David, I chose you. How dare you? Meaning you talking about I'm called and chosen to be a teacher and preacher of the Most High, and you be doing deceitful things.
How dare you?
Well, how the saying go? What's done in the dark will come to light. You could put that right here. I don't know where that came from. Verse 15, drop down.
And Nathan departed unto his house.
And Nathan departed unto his house. Go ahead.
And Yahweh struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David.
Whoa, you mean that baby? She was crying. First she was crying about Uriah. She wasn't crying that she sinned. She's crying that Uriah died. Then David brings us to her house. I got that bag. You know, my baby, come, you know. I'm King David's wife now. But what was the punishment? The child.
He struck the child.
Go ahead.
That Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick.
He struck the baby with sickness. See, a lot of y'all ain't like, I lost my baby. Y'all ain't, none of y'all think about sin. That's right. None of y'all think about the sin of the baby, how the baby even came about, right? And then you pregnant, you fighting with the dad. The baby gonna come into a broken home and a horrible situation. I mean, y'all not understanding that it's your fault sometimes. I ain't saying all the time, but most of the time it's your fault. Then you lose the baby or something happen, you get postpartum and you blaming it on the daddy. Or you get with another man, have another baby, and you blame him for something another Negro did to you. Mm-hmm. That's how it happened. That's that Bathsheba syndrome, right? But so now the baby's sick, right? Drop down to verse 18. Let's get to the point.
And it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died.
So 7 days later, the child dies. Now we got a problem. Who gonna tell this crazy man of war that has, if you read through the whole chapter, he been praying and fasting, laying out on the floor with no clothes on but his drawers. And his people come to him and say, okay, finish. Go ahead, read verse 18.
And the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice.
So while he was alive, you wouldn't get off the floor. They talk to themselves, whispering. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't get off the floor while the kid was alive. What's going on? Because see, when they found out that the baby was dead, when King David found out, he got up, went, took a bath, put on clean clothes, asked for something to eat. But for 7 days, he didn't eat. He just prayed, and cried to the Lord to spare the child. But once he found out the child was dead, he got up. It confused him because mainly people fast, rip their clothes off, and do that after they hear about the death. He was doing it while the child was sick. And once the child died, he didn't mourn. He cleaned himself up and ate. So they confused about this thing. Go ahead.
How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead?
Go ahead.
But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead.
Read 20 and then we'll move on.
Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord and worshiped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat.
Go ahead.
Then said his servants unto him, what thing is this that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, thou didst arise and eat bread.
Go ahead.
And he said, while the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, who can tell whether Yahweh will be gracious to me, that the child may live?
He might answer my prayer. Go ahead.
But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again?
No.
I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me.
Yeah, well, ain't nothing to pray and fast about. It's the Most High's will. Get up, clean yourself up. It's time to move forward, right? But that's kind of off the point, right? But that's kind of an early scriptural version of SIDS. Sudden infant death, right? Some kids live longer than 7 days, and then it happens, right? Rabbit hole. 2 Samuel 23, watch this. So let me tie it all together for y'all. Who is this one that David inquired about? And while y'all get that, I'm going to read 2 Samuel chapter 11 to you. And then he's going to read 2 Samuel 23 and 34. Let's tie it all together. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse, 3? All right. And David, 2 Samuel 11 and 3. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? Read 2 Samuel 23 and 34.
Eliphalet, the son of Ahashbah, the son of Maacatite,
yep.
Eliam, the son of Ahithophel.
Eliam who?
The son of Ahithophel.
Wait a minute. Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite. One said, hey, I think that's Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah. Wait a second. If Eliam, no, brother, read it again. Eliam is what?
The son of
Ahithophel. Oh, wait a second. What is that saying? Ahithophel is Bathsheba's grandfather.
That's right. Granddaughter.
Hey, King David. He couldn't say, that's my granddaughter. She off limits, cuz she already married. Right. You know, hey, blood. Hey, that's my kinfolk. That's my granddaughter. What you peeping, Tom? Ahithophel is the one that said, hey, I think this Bathsheba, hey, you know what? She's Eliam's daughter. King David should be like, wait a minute, Eliam's your son. Right. But he didn't. Because Lussie, he ain't hearing. But he was warned, that's my granddaughter, and she's married. But King David didn't catch it.
He didn't take heed.
So then Eliam wanted to what? Kill him. Give me 12,000 men to kill him because he destroyed my granddaughter, made her sin, killed my grandson, or my son-in-law, right? My grandson-in-law. And then I lost a grandbaby behind this dude. And it's embarrassing. I'm your chief counsel, but everybody know you done slept with my granddaughter. And you tried to make it right by making her your wife. But how I feel, your oracle, the one that gives you counsel. I eat at the table with you. But you just destroyed my family and embarrassed us in front of all Israel. Because if we telling this story today in 2021, you can't tell me they didn't know about it.
That's right. Somebody's head would have been requested.
So let's finish this lesson. Give me Sirach chapter 12. Betrayal. You could say Ahithophel betrayed David, or you could say he was getting the ultimate get back. That's why Absalom knew to call upon him. Because he was what?
Go give me Ahithophel.
Because secretly everybody knew that Ahithophel was angry with King David. Absalom just gave him an out. Hey, you want to get him? Hey, go send for Ahithophel. I know he'll help me.
I know who will get him.
I know who will help me find King David.
I know who will go get him.
Ahithophel. Eliam is Ahithophel's son. Bathsheba is Eliam's daughter. King David was sleeping with Ahithophel's granddaughter, and he couldn't put two and two together. It didn't matter that she was married, and it didn't matter that she was his chief counsel's granddaughter. That's the ultimate betrayal.
He said, man, hey, forget what Ahithophel said. Hey, go get her.
Go get her.
Go get her. Forget what he's talking about. Go get her.
I'm sure he didn't tell Ahithophel to go get her.
Nah, he said
He got counsel from Ahithophel, but the Most High said you did it secretly.
Yeah.
So you sent for her and did that.
So you know what he did after Ahithophel told him?
After Ahithophel left, yeah.
Hey, listen. When Ahithophel go to bed, go get her.
Go get her. Wow.
And they did.
Sirach chapter 12, verse 10 to 12. Go ahead.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thine enemy, because you don't fool with your enemy. Like King David say, you don't worry about people that you know have shown themselves to be your enemy. That's right. You can see your enemy coming. So what's worse than an enemy you can see coming is an enemy that pretends to be your friend that's sitting right at your table. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Go ahead.
Though he humble himself and go crouching.
Like my wife say, your frenemy, they're going to be all humble and submissive, but that's not really their nature. Go ahead.
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
You got to beware of them people that come humbly, like they need you. They really don't need you. They need something from you. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
Go ahead.
Set him not by thee.
You don't put your frenemy by you, your associates, acquaintances. You know, I mean, even if you don't have no trustworthy people, you don't raise them up to be in your choice counsel. We learned that mistake. You can only put people that you trust to be around your children and your money and your resources and know the inner workings of what your organization does. You had to prove these people. That's right. Go ahead.
Lest, when he hath overthrown thee,
you put your enemy next to you, the one that, I just want to study up under you. I just want to learn from you. You know what I'm saying? I just want your guidance and your counsel. No, you don't. They want to get up next to you and go ahead.
He stand up in thy place.
He want to be in your place.
That's right. Make it plain.
Throw backstab.
Your frenemies always saying they happy for you, but they're not happy for you. They want to be where you at, but since they can't, they give you the compliment, but behind your back, they talking about you and everything that you do and how much better they could do it than what you doing. Go ahead.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
Don't let him sit at thy right hand. You remember your frenemies is always trying to get the choice seats. In the New Testament, you heard that, right? They're always trying to get the choice seats at the table. Want to be right next to the man, God, and the woman. Rub their shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Who is she? Who is that? They always asking who is who, so they can figure out how to work their way up. Go ahead.
Lest he seek to take thy seat.
He want to take your seat. Always talking about how much better he could preach something and teach something. You need to learn from him. You know, I ain't trying, you know, I just study some stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, where I was at before, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And thou at the last remember my words.
Remember these words. Go ahead.
And be pricked therewith.
You should always keep them in mind, right? Never trust your enemy. That's right. Drop down to verse 16. Go ahead.
An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Man, sweet lips. Always saying the right stuff. Go ahead.
But in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
How to lock you up. How to knock you off your position. How to take your job. How to destroy your whole institution and organization. Ain't that what you learned from Judas and the Messiah? How can we destroy and take down everybody? Go ahead.
He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
You remember earlier it talked about proving a real friend, but when you get into affliction and get into trouble, they're not gonna be there. Oh, something happened to your baby. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, y'all had some setbacks in Quadash land. Oh, that's so sad, but really, they happy. They're happy that your prosperity ain't succeeding. Verse 17.
If adversity come upon thee,
If something come upon thee,
thou shalt find him there first.
you're doing what? They be the first one to call you doing what?
And though he pretended to help thee,
Hey, you know what? As soon as I get some money, I know y'all got that GoFundMe. I know y'all need some help. Y'all trying to get support. I know y'all trying to do some things. As soon as I get right, bada bang, bada boom. Hey, it's tax season. As soon as I get my taxes, they pretend to help. Yet what?
yet shall he undermine thee.
Man, they talking about everything. We gonna get some land. We gonna do this. We could do this better. I can sing better. I can write better. Wait a minute, I got some producers you should work with. You know what I'm saying? They always trying to undermine positive things. That's right. This is how they show themselves. You got to prove people that it's around you. Right. Whether comrade, whether co-workers, associates, people you trying to bring in close. Hey, we should go out and have drinks. No. Man, let me find out what you believe, what you about. What you stand for. Huh? What do you think about reparations? What do you think about black? You got to throw some stuff out there, just see where people at. Huh? Negroes always talking about reparations. Oh, yeah, that's how you feel? Okay. Mm-hmm. Like you don't really understand history. By law, 40 acres and a mule was supposed to be given. By Jim Crow and underhandedness, it didn't happen. It's still old. It's still on the books. It just didn't happen. Why? Because the people that was in the land and the space that it was supposed to happen didn't leave. This is our last place. Sirach 37, chapter 37. You got to watch who you let sleep in your house, eat at your table, who you call your trusted confidants, who you always sharing your secrets with. Some people that call and say, what's going on with you? It's just looking for the next information so they can go be the informant to the pastor. Well, this is what I heard going on with Brother Johnny. This is what's going on with such and such. This is how you know who a real friend and an Akim. When something happened to you, this is the story. I just talked to some Gentiles this week. And they keep bringing up the story that I actually saw. That most people, because the churches is opening up, right? Because the states is changing the laws. It's all open now. No mask, no shelter in place, no 6 foot. Churches can have all your thousands of people back. So now the churches is calling people, right? These Gentiles brought this up this week. So now people is getting phone calls. I think my brother told me about it last week too. So now congregations, churches is calling people, gauging whether they want to come back or not. The rules is lifted. Do you want to come back? Why did the church ever close? Make it plain. Right? And then the Gentiles was talking about, it's funny that no one ever calls and asks you, if your dog dies. This was his analogy. I'm not making this up. Nobody asks how my dog's doing, right? But he said, most people have left the church and have a bad taste in their mouth because when they had affliction or a problem and they were part of some kind of church or group, no one ever called them. How many people in your church and congregation or do you know that was at a congregation or somewhere, their car was broken, they lost their job, or they lost a relative, or they just didn't show up for any period of time, and no one called them. No one knew they was missing until they started checking tithe records or something, the offering. They started telling me this story, how this is why they left the church, and this is why they know people aren't going back to certain churches, even though churches is open. That's interesting. We left a few churches. Ain't nobody called us either. People that we broken bread together, going bowling, going out to eat. But I bet every one of those people think that they deserve a call too. And we'll just see how that works if they decide that they just want to leave and go do something else. you see how many Akim and church friends you got. You done gave up your whole family. Here's the ironic thing. You done gave up your whole family relationships for this church. Just to find out if you do something the church don't like, the church is telling everybody not to call you. It's one thing if you know the church's rules is disassociation or dismemberment or what they call it in Jehovah. You know, these bigger churches have it called something. Excommunicate. Hey, listen. I was watching the documentary, Yahweh, Yahweh. They couldn't touch the leader. His main killer was locked up. Wasn't going to snitch until he gets on TV and excommunicates him on the news and marks him out with a black marker. He said, oh, no, he didn't. And then he turned informant. That's how they took down the church. He said, yeah, I killed him. Yeah, I killed all. Anybody spoke against the church and he said, go kill him, I would kill him. They talking murder in the church.
He had receipts.
He is the receipt. The last thing you do with the dude locked up that could get you taken out is excommunicate him on live TV.
I know all the.
See his name right here? We disassociate with this guy. All Yahweh members, you are not to call, not to help, not to associate with him. And they marked that dude's name out. The feds is telling this story in the documentation. I can't make it up. You excommunicate me? I did all your work. You got, man, this church was worth $50 million.
He knew all the bodies was hid.
He knew where all the body was hid. He was chopping people's ears off. Story time over. Sirach 37, let's finish up. Verse 1 to 4. Sirach 37, verses 1 to 4. Go ahead.
Every friend that saith, I am his friend also.
Oh, yeah, that's my friend. I know so-and-so. Go ahead.
But there is a friend which is only a friend in name.
See, that's just people that just politically trying to say the right thing. Oh, yeah, I know so-and-so. I know Brother Johnny. Yeah, we cool. Yeah. They friends of mine. No. The Bible telling you that. We read the Bible. There's people that just say they are your friends, and they're just using the word only. They don't know you. They're not going to protect your six. They're not going to make sure they don't lead you into darkness. They're not going to not snitch on you. If it's between them and me, see, that's how you know. A friend won't give you up no matter what. And I know a lot of that gang silence is like that. Just to find out, man, them people don't care nothing about you. You just a number. Go ahead. Verse 2.
Is it not a grief unto death?
It's watch this. Read the rest.
When a companion and friend,
a true friend,
is turned to an enemy.
What did we read earlier? Y'all worried about being a friend, and you should be worried about not being an enemy. That's right, man. It's like death, man. It's like the worst thing to be betrayed by a true friend and a companion that you would give your shirt off their back. You do everything to make sure they lights is on, they kids is fed, you riding and die for them, and it ain't reciprocal. That's right. Yeah. It's like death. It's like you grieving for someone that died. So in conclusion, what we're going to go to 4? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
O wicked imagination, which camest thou in to cover the earth with deceit. There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend.
See, a real friend gonna rejoice in your prosperity. Go ahead.
But in the time of trouble, will be against him.
You gotta discern between a real friend and a fake friend. How did we get on friendship? Because the Most High said Judas was a friend, but he wasn't a true friend and a true companion. The Most High had his eyes on him. Everybody knew he was a thief. I don't know if David knew that he had slept with his chief counselor's granddaughter and that her reputation being destroyed and spoiled by him, how it affected her grandfather, but her grandfather didn't like that thing to the point that he wanted to come chase David down and kill him. But it ain't no betrayal like being betrayed by somebody that you really cared about and broke bread with. The Bible teaches us that it should be reciprocal and we should think about others more than ourselves. First. And do to them like you would want done to you.
That's right.
So it feels like death when you're betrayed by people that break bread with you. And there ain't no betrayal worse than the betrayal of someone you thought was a true friend. Sisters and brothers, you can't be using friendship and the word friend lightly. Acquaintance, associate. Put people in the right category so that you can protect yourself. We're commanded and we're taught to give and think for others. So you don't want nobody around you in your circle of influence that don't feel the same way. And the only way you're going to know that is by proving them first. And with that, sisters and brothers, that's our Bible study lesson. I pray you've taken something away, you've been edified, and I hope you appreciate the scriptures we read, because it's not our opinion. We just exegesis and making you understand in common sense what the scriptures is saying. And I hope you learn about COINTELPRO. I mean, this is how anything we try to put together is torn apart. And you got to understand, activists and extremists, they are viewed as the same, even though we know they are not. You get a bunch of colored people together, and that's extreme. Never trust thy enemy. As always, we give all honor and glory to Yahweh and the Son, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai, and we say, Yah bless.
Y'all bless.
Which one? This last one? I can't even tell you what the title is. What was it about?